Okay. Oh, it's been a while. I wonder if I will have voice today or not. We shall see. Hey, Sam. You are here for this. It's been a bit. I mean, I did this... what, like the week before Christmas was the last time I streamed, I think? So... we shall see if I am... I'm not even sure if that's true or not. You did do the entirety of Dondoko Island at that time. So did you actually finish by the time that you did your stream last night? I haven't streamed since last year. It's been forever. Now, full disclosure, my throat is still a bit like bleh, so we'll see how well this works out. But I was determined I want to finish this game in the next few streams, hopefully. I'm hoping it's gonna only take 2 more, but we will see. March 14th, 9:21 p.m. Open air stage. I've left the Damask 2 investigation to Francisca and returned to Babal. I suppose my first order of business should be to look into the Babal statue. Mr. Edgeworth! So, Kay, what's the situation? Why is your throat still bleh? It's been a year since then. Of course. Also, hey, Captain. International crime. Again, I'm noticing a trend. It's true. We seem to be on a crime spree at the moment. Okay, you know, I wonder if I go here. Oh, hey, look at that. For my old lady eyes, I can make the chat bigger. No, it's not really that bad, but if it's a little bigger, I can lean back further away and still read it pretty clearly. Okay, there we go.
Oh, it's great! Investigating is so much fun!
In other words, they've made absolutely no progress.
Weren't you goofing off? Honest, sir. We weren't goofing off, honest, sir. We've been investigating our hearts out.
Very well. Then, would you care to give me an update on your investigation?
Oh, we had a real fun time, sir!
I knew it. Zero progress. In any case, Detective Dunkgumshoe.
Yes, sir?
You have permission to enter the Albastian embassy, is that correct?
Yep. As a local detective, I'm helping out with the investigation on both sides, sir.
Good. In that case, I can leave these pieces of evidence with you. Right, all the, like, old bag and Larry stuff. They belong to the lady under the Pink Princess's mask.
The Pink Princess? What kind of lady was playing her, sir?
The kind that was also playing the role of the Pink Badger yesterday.
Ugh.
Oh, understood, sir. Edgeworth is so mean to Gumshoe.
If I happen to run into her, I'll give them back to her. And if I don't, then I guess I'll unload them somewhere.
He doesn't seem all that enthused to go find her, but I can't blame him. Evidence has lost their value. That has lost their value is given to Detective Gumshoe. I like that we get so much evidence in this case, they have to offload it in between case parts. Now then, I don't believe I'll be needing this anymore either.
What? Are you really gonna throw that autograph away?
Yes, because that Steel Samurai was a fake. Oh, Edgeworth. Steel Samurai autograph scrunched into a ball and disposed of.
What? What? Wait, what? What do you mean by fake?
Now then, I believe it is time for a little housekeeping. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. What are we down to? We got the prosecutor's badge. We got the embassy guide. We got the Balls statue. We got the notes on the Cochin body. We have, of course, the Atagarasu key. We have the knife that was stabbed in Cochin. We have the smuggling of the ink that Cochin apparently was part of. We have the Babali's handle, which was swapped onto the Albastian knife. I have to refresh myself because it's been a bit since we've done this. We have counterfeit money, which was made with the Babalinese ink. We have some of said ink, which was gifted to us. We have the broken samurai sphere. We have the Albahest's Prima Duck statue, which was turned in the last crime scene. We have footprints in the flowers that were on the windowsill. We have the Damask route to the Prima Duck statue, and then we have the samurai dog box, which was a present from this for the embassy staff, apparently. Okay, apparently that seems still important to Edgeworth. Edgeworth looking at Larry, not my steel samurai. Yeah, really. Alright, are we just... Hi, sir. There is a sign here warning passerbyers to take precaution around the renovation site.
They're really going all out, huh? There's construction going on everywhere.
I believe Ambassador P11 said it was to attract more tourists and visitors.
But what can they do with the new stuff they're building? Hey, what do you think they should do, Mr. Edgeworth?
How about transforming it into a courthouse?
Hey, be serious!
But I was being serious. Oh, Edgeworth. So you're back now, are you, Mr. Edgeworth? You must be tired. Here, with these you can eat whatever you like. And these are... discount coupons for our cafeteria. They open tomorrow at 10 in the morning. I appreciate the concern. However, these coupons do nothing for me right now. This open-air stage, what function does it serve exactly? Well, normally we'd use it for a variety of events. It's all to attract the extra bit of attention to my ball. I heard that tonight, over in Albastian Rose Garden, Ambassador Alba was to give a speech. And you know what? Manny told me that I really should give a speech too. Mr. Cochin told you that? Yes, he did. Which is why I thought I should give a speech of my own. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Because of the fire the Atakarasu started. Exactly. Sir, have you seen Edgeworth's car? He doesn't need coupons. Give them to Gumshoe. I mean, coupons implies Gumshoe has money to spend on the remaining total. I guess unless they are actually for free, but I feel like it's just a percentage off and that won't be enough for Gumshoe. I guess technically Phoenix could use those. Phoenix is like the in-between of Edgeworth and Gumshoe, where like I feel like he's always poor, but he has just enough money that he could treat people to like meals and stuff on occasion when they finish a case. Like maybe Gumshoe did well enough that he got another $5 yearly bonus. That's assuming a lot. The Prima Duck statue. Ambassador P11, I'd like to ask you a little more about the Prima Duck statues. Oh, I see. Let me ask you this. Did you know that the Albas and the Babal used to be one country called Codopia? Yes, I know that much about your history. Well, the Prima Duck statue belongs to the founders of Codopia. At least that's how the story goes. It was bequeathed onto the king of Codopia as the symbol of the country's wealth. So it was meant as a symbol of sovereignty, and the right to rule, I take it. Yes, that's right, which is why both countries are so adamant about their claim. We hold the real statue, therefore we hold the right to rule, is the reasoning. It's a pretty petty when you think about it, though, I suppose. But if Alabast and Babal were to re-establish relations, shouldn't that put an end to the squabbling over the statue? You've no reason to believe so. The Primaduck statue is even more important now as a key to diplomacy. I wonder if the Ambassador Paleno knows about what has happened to the very important key to diplomacy. Perhaps I should try to show him this key and see what he has to say about it. Any coaching? Ambassador Paleno, there is one thing I'd like to ask you about. Yes. Oh, and don't worry, you can ask me more than just one thing. How about 2 or 3? In exchange, I expect you to be coming to Babal, yes? Thank you. But just one thing is all I require. Manny Cochin, I'd like to ask you about this man, who was your secretary. Sure. I'll tell you what I know. Thank you for your cooperation, Ambassador. He was, well, if I had to put it into one word, he was an able man. If there was ever anything I needed as an ambassador, he was able to get it for me. To think that a man like that had a hand in a smuggling ring right under my nose, going completely unnoticed. Actually, I suppose he was an able man. I was unable to detect his dirty dealings. It sounds like Mr. Cochin had a very sharp mind. Recently, Manny has been really busy. Since I became Babalini's representative at the Country Unification Council. He's been working tirelessly to cover my work for me. I'm sorry, but what is this Country Unification Council? Oh, well, you see, tonight events proceeded without a hitch. Our 2 countries were to reunify and become one again. The gasp. That's important. But I guess with how things turned out, that dream won't be realized any time soon. I suppose not. Hey dude, do they want me to show this one? I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess we'll show his. So, Ambassador Paleno, if you could please take a look at this for me. The Primaduck statue sitting on the Albast right now actually belongs to Babal. Ah, right. Well, that was a thing we discovered, wasn't it? This is a problem when I play this so long after. I don't remember all the things. So it would appear. I received a call from Miss Von Karma about this earlier. Then you will understand why I wish to inspect the Babal's Primaduck statue immediately. Because the statue is currently in your country's possession. Yes, well, I have already inspected it myself, and it is definitely Abalahest's statue. I know because it's the real statue. Dun dun dun. Da, 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 da. The whole mirrored designs and copies element. Doesn't help with this one. Yeah, with all the confusing, like, oh, look at this, look at this. By the way, for everyone who was here, how was your holidays? Did you have an enjoyable time with family, friends, or whatnot? It's been a while. I haven't talked to some of you, so, I mean, I have, realistically, but... I'm embarrassed to say it's true, even though I knew that someday it would be exposed. You had a good time? Because you were visiting your family, right, Sam? So. And, I always forget the name. It starts with a C. I stayed home and rested off a cold. Mood, Captain. I feel like a lot of people were sick this Christmas. And not just, like, the people who traveled, like, everyone. I managed to finish my tree while it was still almost Christmas and not Christmas. Canusti, that's right. Is Canusti also in Scotland? Or is it, like, I assume it is. Yeah, okay. And due to events I learned about a couple months ago, it was the most comfortable I have been there for years. Aw, that's really nice to hear, Sam. I'm glad to hear that. I received my orders from the leaders of Babal, and I was to negotiate with the Ambassador Alba at this event. I was to negotiate with him and fix the results of the evaluation tonight, to say that we could not determine which statue was the real one.
Hold it!
Why are you telling me this? Well, because you already figured it out. Our statue is just a hollow gold shell. Even Babal were to lose face, the reunification of the country is what's important. I'm right in thinking that, aren't I? I'm not making a mistake, right? If you don't know yourself, then I won't pretend to know either. Never thought that by being betrayed by my own secretary, the real symbol of wealth would be given to me. Isn't that simply ironic? Okay.
Hey, you're not going back to Albest already, are you?
No, not yet. I still need to gather a bit more information first. Yeah, Gumshoe. Do you have anything to tell me?
Mr. Edgeworth!
Anyway, you look like you're enjoying yourself, Detective.
Well, I don't have much else that I enjoy as much as a good investigation, sir.
So, what did you find out?
Oh, well.
I take it he's found nothing in particular of particular use, as usual. As for me, I had a nice Christmas with my family on Christmas Eve, and then I had a nice stay-at-home Christmas Day time. It was good, and I made cookies, and I made Japanese curry. That was my Christmas dinner. And then I mostly just stayed warm in my home because it was pretty cold. And then it wasn't cold for a little bit, and then it got cold again, as they do. I am swimming in plushies. I've received dogs and cats and an Eevee. And cozy blankets and books. I got some new editions of my the Mistborn series. They're very pretty. At first I was like making Japanese curry for Christmas. That's heretical. Now it's double heretical. You're supposed to be making that on a camping trip. Yes. I got some art books, and honestly it was a pretty book-filled Christmas. Because, you know, people know I like books, so that tends to be what I get. Not complaining, by the way. I like books. And if I'm supposed to make that on a camping trip, but I never go camping, I will never have Japanese curry. So I make it whenever I want. And then I have... Honestly, it was nice because when I wasn't feeling well, I could just heat up some of the curry because I make like 8 to 10 like servings at a time. Investigate update. Yeah, like a heathen. You like books? I know, right? What is this nonsense? And I am a year older. I turned 34 4 days ago. So I'm an older lady. Hashtag curry game. Yeah, Captain. No, not the leather bounds. I got, there's those paperbacks that are like orange and yellow. They're like sunsetty colors with the shadow of Vin hopping across them. Those are the ones I got. They're very nice.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I got something really interesting from Ambassador Paleo.
Oh? And what is that something interesting?
This, sir.
It's a lantern. Wow, that's so pretty. I'm jealous. That's a real treasure there. Why does the flame burn green, detective?
So apparently if you burn a special white crystal oil, they only make it a ball. It burns this green color, sir.
Interesting. So that's the special property of the oil. Anything fun that you were on the receiving end? Hey, Gummy, what's about these silhouettes?
They struck some cutout on the outside of the lantern, so it projects an image.
Oh, silhouettes, huh? They're rather pretty, aren't they? Wait, what am I doing? I was supposed to be asking for an update on the investigation.
Hey, what's wrong, sir?
There's something I want you to investigate for me. Do you think you can do that much?
Got it, sir.
Hey, that's not fair. Why is Gummy getting to do all the fun stuff?
Well, it's because I'm Mr. Edgeworth's partner.
Some nerd got me books. That's true. Wait, you like books, Bubbles? I can't believe you took my advantage of my confusion and stole my role as an assistant. I expect the two of you to get along and work together like professionals on this. Runs on white crystal oil, which burns balls sauce. Blah 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 blah. Hey, where are you going? Are you heading back to Albahest? Yes, but before I do, I suppose I should give you a summary of what's happened. Here's a fade to black where we tell you everything, and Kay goes, "Oh, I see. So there's been a murder in the countries using an object from the other country." Well, that's the gist of it. Babal is just as strict as Albahest in their inspection of the people and things that enter their country, meaning that somehow both the murder weapons were smuggled into the two countries. That's the only logical conclusion that can be drawn. Perhaps the key to the weapon smuggling is the person who traversed both countries. You mean the fake Yatagarasu? In one way or another, the Yatagarasu is connected. Of that, I am sure. I got a phoenix, a book, and games, also new phone. Nice! Bubs likes books. New phone, who dis? Now then, where was the Yatagarasu first spotted? I believe it was the Rose Garden in the Albahestian side of the embassy. The garden is just on the other side of the boundary. It's where Ambassador Elba was to give a speech tonight. At least that's where I heard the Yatagarasu had appeared. In that case, I believe it is vital that we investigate the Rose Garden post-haste. Wait, before you go, take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? My guess is that it's a guitar pick. I picked it up just now over there. Do you think it'll be of any use? There's a little water on it. But how did the water get on it? It doesn't look like there's anything it could get wet from around here. I was thinking they have concerts here at this open stage from time to time, right? Alright, I'll find its owner later. Gee, I wonder if that's from the Jamming Ninja. He's supposed to be around here somewhere too, isn't he? Maybe a lot of heart is the Jamming Ninja. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Mr. Edgeworth, would you be willing to hold on to this? What is this? It's misused perfume. It's the bottle that woman left behind, and I found 7 years ago. I thought one day it'd be of some use to tracking her down. Freaking lot of heart. So I kept it safe all this time. Thank you. I'd be honored to hold on to it for you. Misuse perfume data. Jotted down in my organizer. Okay, well, we got the things. I guess we're going back. Let's go, Kay. I think I'll be returning to investigating an Albahest now. I know. I'll go back to Babal and do some more investigating there. Ooh. March 14th. The Rose Garden. I'm gonna guess this is Francisca. I see you're back, Miles Edgeworth. Yeah. Oh god, this is gonna kill my voice, isn't it? How are things in Babal? Although I can't really say much, I expect from Scruffy and that girl. The investigation into Manikochin's death hasn't really progressed any. However, the investigation into the Yatagarasu has. Yes, the Yatagarasu. Even now I find it hard to believe. A person who can freely traverse between the two countries, vil at vil? Preposterous. Well, that's what I came here to investigate. I heard that this is where the witnesses claim to have seen the Yatagarasu. That is correct. Ambassador Alba was to give a speech here tonight in Albahest. And that's when the Yatagarasu appeared. The shadow of the mysterious thief appeared, and just as suddenly it vanished. After that, there was a fire at Babalini's embassy, and that the Yatagarasu started. I vow not a single feather from the Yatagarasu shall escape my diligence. Begin investigation! Alright, well, let's go find shit. Hey? Oh look, there's a fallen light here. There's an overturned spotlight here. Then the Yatagarasu appeared. The audience was waiting for the speech to start to panic. I suppose that's when someone must have knocked it over. I'm having a tough time visualizing the mass confusion that took place here. I thought I would use my whip to capture the Yatagarasu. However, there were people in my way, and I was unable to even land a single lash. I suppose this means that some other poor saps were hit instead. Is it possible the Yatagarasu hid in these bushes? Of course not, the rose bushes. You've been spending too much time with Scruffy and that girl. They're rubbing off on you. But it's alright, I'll wake you up with your stupor. Now, next time you feel like sleep-talking, remember that I'll whip you for real. All I try to do is offer a possibility, and this is what I get. There is rose scattered on the surface of the water, creating a pleasant fragrance. It's not just for aesthetics. This pool of water is also used in putting out fires. Oh, that was Francisca. I see. Oh. The pool stopped filling itself automatically. The fountain spouts are set to stay open until the pool water reaches a certain level. If this water is used to put out fires, I suppose it must be refilled to its normal level, which suggests that this pool was recently used somehow in the embassy. I guess I'll take some notes about it, just in case. Do. Oh. Uh-oh. How dare you surprise me like that? I'm sorry.
Oh, hey, Edgy. Thanks for what you did back there.
Water monster, quick murder it. It's Nessie again. Your gratitude alone is enough. More importantly, Larry, this pool is not for your personal enjoyment.
I know that. Do you really think that I'm the type to just jump into a pool and swim around for fun?
Alright then. Did you by chance fall into the pool?
Nice guess, but no dice. So you know my son, right, Edgy?
Your son?
I guess I kinda lost sight of him when I shook hands with the ambassador. And I'm pretty sure he was around here when I last saw him!
You imbecile! How can you be so flippant at a time like this? What are you going to do about your son fell into the pool? And
how old is this child of yours anyway? Huh? Oh, how old is he again?
Larry, this is the first time I've heard of a son. Who exactly is the mother? Good night, Sam.
The mother? Oh, that chick, the pink princess.
The pink princess? Miss Von Karma. I was a bit confused by this man's words a bit there. The idea of Larry having produced offspring. Well, and the thing is Larry's had multiple girlfriends, right? There could be multiple of them out there and we just don't know. They could do a future game where we meet a Larry Butts kid before Gumshoe ever gets his. Sip. Okay, but do you think Larry ever guessed full bass with any of his girlfriends? That's a good question, and I don't know the answer of it. I feel like maybe he can get away with it for like a day or two, so there's a possibility. Strikes me as the sort who gets strung along for a month or two without getting any. I could see that happening too. However, I believe that what he's looking for is the doll of an Iron Infinite.
Yep, because I'm the Steel Samurai, though. Through and through, heart and soul. And the Iron Infinite is my cute little son.
You have to give the whole meaning of the whole new meaning of the phrase astounding fool. Larry, we've not seen hide or hair of the Iron Infant, but rest assured, if should we find him, we'll let you know. Now get out of there.
Sounds good. In any case, I'll go search over there.
Hey, wait! Well, it's not as if he's got very far swimming around in that pool. And though he's unrelated to the murders, he sure knows how to cause a lot of trouble. Steel plus pink equals iron. Yup. Okay. A statue of a woman. I wonder if this lady's pouring water. It says that the statue is the queen who spoke with love to the king Primidux. Then, Miles Edgeworth, it seems that you are lousy at reading a woman's heart. I mean, we already knew that because Miles doesn't care about women's hearts. I opened my mouth about a statue and she somehow has made a leap to that. The statue bears a resemblance to the Primidux statue. The plaque says, King Primidux in the battlefield. In order to save the queen, King Primidux put his life on the line and went to war. So the Primidux was actually a person of royal blood. I thought that he was simply someone intimating a character from the ancient legend. Then, what a surprise. What surprises me is that the real person who looks like the Steel Samurai exists. I suppose there's that too. There's some beautiful roses here. They appear to be well maintained. You're being too nice, Miles Edgeworth. The arrangement is devoid of any sense of design. Roses only truly shine when they are grouped by color, one color per location. They lose their beauty when they are mixed together like this. I can't tell if she's being sarcastic or not. On second thought, there's a rather serious look on her face. I'd better leave it. They really should rethink the proper balance of these roses. Edward doesn't care about her arts in general. Like, he doesn't care about his boyfriends. I mean, if the Apollo Justice game is any sign. But apparently, if Phoenix's heart is dark and jaded, that's when he's hyper competent to the point of, like, Who is this person? Okay, anything else of note?
So this is where Ambassador Alba was to give a speech. The stage was set up nicely, however, there was an audience supposed to sit. Perhaps they were supposed to sit around the edge of the pool. Such poor planning. There was no place for others than a spot or two by the pool. They really should have made up a seating arrangement like of how the gallery is set up in the court.
Indeed. I can sense the consideration for the viewers was taken with those.
So, in the end, the speaker and his audience stands the whole time, huh?
Yes, I suspect the audience would have liked to sit down after a while. Bring chairs for people, for events. Okay, anyway. Hey, dude. Oh, music changed. Have you finished checking out all the bystanders? Yes, sir! And we found 14 counts of pickpocketing, 16 counts of illegal parking, and 1 person ran a light, sir. Don't tell me you didn't find anything related to the case. Sir, not a single thing, sir! Well, for now, let's just get those other lawbreakers down to the precinct. Agent Lang. Well, if it isn't Mr. Prosecutor. I would like to thank you for your assistance earlier. Make no mistake, it's not like I was trying to help you with what I did. After I left, did you receive word from Ambassador Alba? We're going to wrap up our bodyguard assignment at the end of today. Oddly enough, we received word from HQ to return home in an urgent manner. As if I could be so easily called away from this case after I've come this far. I swear that I'll find the truth and drag it out screaming into the light. People should get good at standing. I refuse. I wish to be carried everywhere. You're with me on that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? You were working as Ambassador Alba's bodyguard at the time. So naturally you witnessed when the Yatagarasu appeared, correct? Yeah, I saw the thief all right with my own 2 eyes. The Yatagarasu was always there, lurking in the shadows. But when the spotlights were turned on for the Ambassador Alba speech, a shadow appeared. That's when cries of "It's the Yatagarasu" rang out. Next second, the spotlight went out. And by the time we got to the area lit again, that thief had vanished. When we investigated afterwards, we found that the reason the lights went out was because someone had unplugged the extension plug for all the outdoor electronics. Whether it was someone doing it on purpose, or simply a guest who had tripped over it, we don't know. But one thing's for certain. The Yatagarasu was here. So you're saying that, basically, all you saw was this thief's silhouette? Yes.
Objection!
If all you saw was a shadow, then it's entirely possible that the shadow belonged to something else.
Good thinking, sis. You might be right. If it weren't for the fact that there was no one else with the same shape. Not among the staff or the audience members. My men have already done a thorough check with everyone, so I know I'm right. Someone else's shadow. It sounds like a plausible hypothesis. The sudden appearance and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. I believe I figured out the true origin. I expect no less from my subordinate. Now, let's hear what you know of the subject. What caused the shadow of the Yatagarasu? It's somehow like the statues in tandem with something, right? Like, I believe that is what they're getting at. We are now Francisca's subordinate, yes. Well, let's give it a go. A sudden disappearing and reappearing statue of the Atagarasu. Is it not possible that it was created by the statue? Are you playing at me for a fool, Miles Edgeworth? The statue bears absolutely no resemblance to the shadow of the Atagarasu. You are correct, however, the statue is but one part of the whole picture. What do you mean, it's by only one part? What is the other part of the real form of the Atagarasu's shadow? Yeah, I assume it's just both the statues together. I don't really remember this, but I assume at this point it's both of the statues. It's another statue. The Atagarasu shadow is made from the shadows of these two statues. Made? What do you mean by that? Right now, the spotlights are all over the place. This is because they were moved when the guests were in a panicked state. However, if we were to restore the lights to where they were when the thief appeared, you believe that the two statues will create a Yatagarasu shadow? Precisely. Now then, watch as I reveal the true form of the Atagarasu. First, if we set up the spotlights to cast a shadow of the King Prima Dux in the battlefield, the shadow of the king statue would appear on the backdrop of the stage. Likewise, if we were to set up the queen who spoke of love to the King Prima Dux, her shadow would appear on the backdrop of the stage. Ah, so if we were to combine the statues, it looks nothing like the Yatagarasu statue. Shadow. Miles, how do you explain this grotesque shape? Calm down, Francisca. The way the lights need to be shone on the queen's statue is wrong. What do you mean by that? I believe that the whole of the king's shadow needs to be used for this to work. However, in case of the queen, I don't believe her whole shadow is needed. Rather, a person creating the shadow would only be used one part of it. Only one part. Yes. And the one part alone is enough to fill the rest of the Atagarasu's shadow. Why didn't you say so in the first place? You're right, I apologize. Now what part... Now, that part of the queen statue was used to complete the Atagarasu's shadow. Gee, I wonder if it was this hand... Think back to what's missing of our shadow. 5 long, thin areas, correct? Now, what does that remind you of? That's right. It can only be the shadow of the queen's left hand. Francisca, can we please adjust the spotlight position so that only it shines on the queen's left hand? Alright, let's give it a try and see what we get. It's so like... Look, guys! It was just the statues, and they made this silhouette. Like, I feel like people need to remember how light works. Like, how else do you get the shadow on the back wall here, guys? Alright. Yeah, this is exactly like the shadow I saw. The culprit must have changed the spotlight's positioning beforehand, and then pulled the plug after people saw what the culprit wanted them to see. In their panic, yes, Jigglypuff is seen from above. I hear that line way more often than I should. It's a good line. Did Pokemon ever do anything else besides that? Like, why was that the only one?
sorry, Wayward. As much as you should.
Fair enough. In their panic, the guests must have moved the spotlights around, which we can assume was also part of the culprit's plan. By the time the lights came back on, the Atagarasu's shadow has vanished. Which means the shadow was thus constructed from the very beginning. So you see, the Atagarasu never did visit Albahast tonight. The only country that Feith visited was Babal, although it can be assumed that the Atagarasu had an accomplice in Albahast. An accomplice? But who? I haven't figured that out yet, but I assume it was the person who set up the shadow show. I sense that the biggest clue is yet to solving this case is the existence of the accomplice. Investigation complete! How's... Old man? How's the investigation going? No, it's bad. How's the investigation going? Detective Bad, have you come to join us on investigating the Atagarasu? I have left the murder in Ancient Lane's charge. And my only target from the very beginning is the Atagarasu. So yes. So, what have you found out? I got a piece of evidence. May I see it? Sure. But you might regret it. We're here because we are ready to face whatever may come. If you have too many exceptions to the rule, it loses its charm. It's true. If you so please. When people heard the commotion, bystanders started gathering. And one woman claimed, I'm telling ya, I'm a genuine international journalist. Oh no. She gave me an interesting picture. A journalist? Well, actually, she's a freelance cameraman. This is the photo I got from her. God damn it, Lotta. Why were you standing where this picture was taken? That's the actual question. What in the world? The Atagarasu is flying through the air. Bad times, they are changing. It's not just the man, but evidence even they lie to us now. When was this photo taken? Apparently right after the fires on the 4th and 5th floor were put out. It was taken from a nearby building that you can see the embassy from. How was she standing where this picture was taken? Larry, oh yeah, did I mention that there was also a crazy southern woman on the roof? Edgeworth, damn it, Larry. I see. So this was taken from after the fire. What did the Atagarasu joined? The player in this picture took off from the Babalese embassy, flew over the boundary and headed for the embassy of Albahast. This is simply not possible. People are incapable of flight. Is that the fact? I've had the pleasure of dealing with in a case involving a flying person once. Unfortunately. Actually, come to think of it, I've come across a case like that as well. 2, actually. Wait, okay, so one of them was the circus case, obviously. For Francisca. Where else was there flying? Was this a third case game? Was that when the one that we haven't done? Like the final case of that one? Yeah, that must be it. Yeah. With the flaming bridge. Okay. Is that the same one Miles is talking about, or was there one in the first game that I'm just not quite remembering what he's meaning? A flying person. It must be the same case. I'm trying to think what else it would be. Maybe it happens more often than we think. Am I up to the task of solving the mystery behind this photograph? Well, the Atagarasu took off from the Babalese embassy, so I should start from there. Francisca, I need to return to Babal's investigation for a bit. Right. Have fun, guys. I'll continue investigating on this side of the building. It's kind of fun that we get two different assistants, quote unquote. We're assisting Francisca technically, and then on the other side we get to hang out with Katie. So, case 3-5 has both of them. So yeah, that's probably what it is. Or Katie. I'm just putting my own name in the game.
Welcome back, Mr. Edgeworth. Now come on, let's get back to our investigation.
Were you just waiting for me, Kay? Because otherwise, weren't you supposed to be investigating? Yes, let's. Whoops. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. March 14th, 10:37 p.m. Babali's Embassy Secretariat Office.
To think, after all that running around, we're right back where we started.
It would appear that way. Hi, Mr. Edgeworth. Have you found Manny's killer yet? I'm terribly sorry, Ambassador Paleo, but I haven't yet to find his killer. Then I guess his murder really was the work of the Atagarasu.
Let's get one thing straight. It was the work of the fake Yatagarasu. The real Yatagarasu is a noble vigilante who is only out to steal the truth.
Miss Faraday, please don't make such a sad face. If there's anything I can do for you, all you have to do is ask, all right?
Mr. Paleo.
Paleno. Actually, there's one thing you can do. Will you allow us to take another look around? We didn't have enough time to conduct a thorough investigation earlier. Oh, sure, please, feel free to investigate to your heart's content. Also, there are a few questions I'd like to ask you personally, Ambassador. If it would bring a smile back to Miss Faraday's face, then I'll gladly answer anything.
Thank you, Mr. Paleno. You're a total gentleman.
You don't have to waste such nice words on me, little miss.
Hey, Sir Paleno.
Those two sure got chummy awful quick.
You know, it's easy to say we're going to investigate, but where should we begin?
We should probably start by comparing the statues of this room before and after the fire. And then we should look into the matter of the suspicious person you spotted.
Yeah, when I came into this room, that person was already gone. But I'm willing to bet that person I was chasing is Mr. Cochin's killer.
We don't know that yet. However, it's hard to believe that person is unrelated. Furthermore, because the key to the Atagarasu stole 7 years ago was found here, it signals that perhaps Miss Yu is also somehow involved.
I knew it! That woman is almost definitely Mr. Cochin's killer.
Yet again, we don't know that. There are too many mysteries to be solved here. Yeah, no kidding. It's almost like this case is really big. Speaking of the Atagarasu mysteries, I received a most mysterious photo from the Detective Bad.
Uncle Bad? He's taking part in the investigation too?
Yes, he's been chasing after the Atagarasu for all these years.
Uncle Bad?
Now then, I was told that this photo was taken just after the fire.
What? This kind of looks like the person in the long coat I was chasing. Does this mean I was chasing the fake Yatagarasu after all?
I don't know the answer to your question, but I don't think people can fly either.
But this could be how that person escaped.
Or it could be something else entirely, you know. I don't 100% remember all of this, but my guess is it's one of the statues with the fabric around it. I guess we'll see. Setting up this case was so elaborate, like they really didn't need to do all of this work. They made this way harder for themselves.
Well, we'll need to investigate a bit more before we can say anything about that. In any case, let's not dawdle anymore, but pick up our investigation where we left off. Let's get looking.
Okay, so we wanted to look at the statue again.
So this is the real Prima Duck statue. This is the really valuable, right?
That's what they say.
Hold it!
Okay, you're not seriously considering theft of the statue, are you? No way, Mr. Edgeworth. I wasn't thinking about anything like that. I was just calculating in my head how much the statue is worth.
Well, that's mighty suspicious to me. Okay,
The safe wasn't open at the time of the fire. You could tell because the insides weren't burnt, right?
yes, and thanks to the safe's fire resistance, the smuggling evidence was preserved.
Aren't the safes great? They always hold such a wonderful promise of treasures.
Well, it certainly did have a few inside. I don't think we got to look at this window before. You can see the Albacian embassy through this window.
So, where were you when the investigating over... Where were you investigating over there, Mr. Edgeworth?
You can see it from here. I was on the 5th floor.
That's where...
That's where Damask II was killed.
What? You don't mean the Damask II? Aw, poor guy. As a fellow second-generation thief, I can't just turn a blind eye to this.
Even though Damask II was merely an imposter of the original. Okay. It appears that this area was heavily damaged by the fire.
Yeah, I guess we should hurry up and get started in examining everything.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. There's some ink. There's a bottle of Bolognese ink on Mr. Cochin's desk.
And it looks like there's still a lot of ink left inside.
The seal is unbroken, so the fire probably couldn't get into the bottle to burn up the ink.
Hey, Mr. Polino, it looks like your precious Bolognese ink is all right after all.
What? That's odd.
Hold it!
Master, what do you mean by that? Well, it's just that there is something strange about the ink. Would you mind elaborating on the statement for me, please? Okay, well, we'll talk to you in a second. We'll see. Actually, you know what? Let's just go talk to him. We'll come back if we need to. Now then, Ambassador, I'd like to ask you about your movements before the fire broke out. Before the fire? Which fire are you talking about? Which one? There was more than one tonight? Huh? Oh, I see. I guess you didn't hear about that. We had 2 fires here in the Bolognese embassy tonight. What a bother all that was.
Wait, but the only fire we know about is the one after the Jamming Ninjas show.
Oh, well, the first occurred at the start of the Jamming Ninja show. Luckily, only the 4th and 5th floors of our embassy we caught on fire. You know, there's only, like, 2 fires. There's never only one thing in this case, Edgeworth. It's true. Not wanting to cause a panic among the theater goers, we decided to keep it internal. Then the fire of after the Jamming Ninja show was the second one of the night? Exactly! So, the fire I witnessed was the second one. Come to think of it, didn't Detective Bat make a reference to the first fire? When was the fire taken? Well, taken apparently right after the fires. Oh, the 4th and 5th floors were put out. I suppose this means that the photo was taken just after the first fire was put out. Information updated!
So then, what was the extent of the damage on the second fire?
The second fire was contained on the floor, the 3rd floor. I think it was leftover embers from the fire on the floors above that caused it. Yeah, this is why you should put fires out properly, because if you leave any little bit of it, things could get fucked.
How should I put this? Very bad stroke of luck.
My office is on the 5th floor. Manny's office here. And Manny himself. All gone in a blink of an eye. 2 fires. Oh no, our cleaned out gathering of materials is filling up again.
I feel so sorry for you, Mr. Plano.
Oops, look at me going on and on. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask me?
We were discussing what your actions and whereabouts of today were. And if you happen to know what Mr. Cochin's actions and whereabouts were as well.
Yes, well, let's see. I've been quite busy all day, from morning until now. First I woke up, and then I brushed my teeth after that, and had a roll for breakfast.
Fascinating. How about you just skip to the relevant parts for me?
Oh, you'd like to get the condensed version. All right, I can do that for you.
So what did Mr. Cochin and you do this morning?
Well, originally we were supposed to meet up and shake hands with the jamming ninja. But Manny and I wanted to turn it into a photo op, so we were tidying up his office.
You helped clean Mr. Cochin's office. Why were you not cleaning your own?
Oh, I think I forgot to mention this, but my office is currently undergoing renovations. Okay then. Which is why both the Prima Duck statue and the Balinese knife set are down here.
I see.
Oh, but the tidying didn't take much, really. We just burned some files since we no longer needed, and expired coupons in the fireplace. Oh, is that all? We just burned files in the night where, first of all, there was fires going on in the entire embassy. And also, we've already found extremely damaging files in your safe.
I bet cleaning up the fireplace must have been a real pain though, huh?
About that, I kind of forgot to clean the ashes out. I guess I'm up to a creek without Manny here to get angry at me.
An ambassador like yourself has been on the receiving end of a secretary's anger.
Oh, he was very good at being mad, very mad. Why, even just this morning he got mad at me. I spilled some Balinese ink on the back wall when I was burning the files, you see. He got mad at me, saying I should treat the ink with more respect.
Talk about the boss getting bossed around.
Ink on the back wall of the fireplace, left ashes there. That's about it for what we did this morning, just some cleaning.
Don't tell me you had no other work to do, being an ambassador and all. Now then, if you could tell me what you and Mr. Cochin did this afternoon.
Well, Manny and I went down together to the Theatrum Neutralis. We had to be there for the start of the Steel Samurai stage show. After the show started, I went back to my office on the 5th floor alone.
So they were together until the start of the Steel Samurai show.
A little while later, after I straightened myself up a bit, I returned to the theater. Because I was to take part in the photo op on stage at the end of the show.
There was a commemorative photo op at the end.
It was a fantastic photo of the 3 of us, Ambassador Alba, the Steel Samurai, and myself. After the photo shoot, I went back to my office on the 5th floor to prepare for my handshake photo op with the jamming ninja.
Seems to be rather overworked for an ambassador.
When I got to my office, that's when the first fire broke out and I escaped down the stairs. My office was completely destroyed, but thankfully no one was hurt. I admit I ran away from the first fire as fast as my legs could carry me. But during the second one, I pitched in and helped the embassy staff put it out.
So you didn't see Mr. Cochin again after the start of the Steel Samurai show?
Yes, that's right. Next time I saw him, he was lying there, in an eternal sleep.
I see. Ambassador Plano, I thank you very much for your help.
I'm sorry I couldn't be more of assistance, Mr. Edgeworth. If If there's anything else, please don't hesitate to ask, alright? The ink.
I wonder if you might tell me what you noticed about Mr. Cochin's bottle of ink.
It's just that I thought of it right now, but during the second fire, Manny was worried about his office, so he came rushing back to it. I called out to him, and when I received no reply, I used my spare key to open the door. But when I did, I was greeted by a roaring green flame. The flames were so bright that I wasn't able to see into the room at all.
The fire was green. What was the cause?
Now, Edgeworth, you should know. Well, white crystal oil burns green when you light it, as you can see with this lantern.
The Babalinese ink is made with the same oil, which means that it would also burn green.
You know, I too thought that Manny's ink had caught on fire. Ghosts, or that. Ghosts would have been more fun. Yeah, ghosts would have been more fun. We need more ghosts in the Ace Attorney games. We need, like, well, I guess we kind of already had Fantasy Ace Attorney in the Ace Attorney Professor Layton crossover game, but spoilers for that game, it kind of turns out to not be the case, so... So, that's why I was left surprised to find out there was still a bottle of ink left on this desk. Fantasy and Ace Attorney. Ridiculous. Certainly there isn't a Steam game like that. I'm trying to think of which one you mean. Are we talking about the Bird Attorney game? Or is there another one I'm not thinking of right now? I haven't played that one, so... It's new. Bubs gifted it to me. Oh yeah?
I guess the perplexing green flames talk about a mystery.
Oh, okay.
The case of the perplexing green flames talk about a mystery.
Tyrion Cuthbert, Ace Attorney of the Arcane. I mean, that sounds fun.
What exactly was it that caught on fire here?
Alright, well, let's go into the fireplace.
Fireplace, huh? The Balinese office have them too. Two? There's a fireplace relatively the same location in the Albercian office. However, we found something there that I'd rather not recall ever again. I still can't believe that we found that lady's undershirt in the fireplace.
Huh?
If it was that traumatizing, why don't you try creating new memories with this fireplace? You could climb inside and we can play hide and seek.
And come out covered in soot? I think not.
You really have no sense of fun, Mr. Edgeworth.
Okay, but are we gonna not look in the fireplace? No? Okay. Okay, it seems like there's something here I need to investigate. Let's look at this book.
Looks like a bunch of flyers and coupons attached to them. The ball sure gives away a lot of different coupons. Maybe I should create my own. I could call it the Great Thief Coupon.
And what kind of discount would that net you?
5-finger kind, what else? And I'd steal an extra thing or two for the bearer.
Things such as
the truth. What else would I steal?
What I wouldn't give to have a mountain of your coupons right about now. Tyrion Cuthbert. That reminds me, completely unrelated. I recently re-listened to The Mysterious Affair Styles, which is the first Hercule Poirot case. But Audible released a version of it where they had Peter Dinklage playing Poirot, and he was really good at it.
Manny Cochin. His name is written right here on the nameplate. Why would you put your nameplate with your name on it in your own office? I suppose it's to inform people in case they walked into the wrong room by mistake.
Makes sense. Peter Dinklage is a talented man. He is.
Do you think maybe it's also there to remind you of your own name if you forget? Well, either way, it's never a bad thing to set a nameplate on one's desk.
Alright, what else is there around here? The drawer? What's in the drawer?
It would appear that the desk was also fell victim to the fire. But it doesn't look too damaged. Oh, I think we can rifle through the drawers a bit. I suppose we really should take a look.
Oh, what's this?
It's the notepad that was the same as the other thing. It's a rather unusual shape for a notepad. I suppose it must be another souvenir from somewhere.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, we get to deduce it. Okay.
Spot a sound connected to something in the evidence I hold.
Yes, it is connected to the weird piece of paper with the map on it.
The shape of this notepad matches the shape of the note we found. Hey, you're right! What is that? It looks like something straight out of Monument Valley.
Oh yes, the notepad is a souvenir from somewhere in your country. We've been collecting them for the purpose of studying them, you see.
Yes, I do. You do seem to be quite passionate about it.
Oh, would you like to see my souvenir collection? I'd love to show it to you.
Are you sure you haven't been burnt to a crisp by the fires?
Ambassador Polano,
I wonder if you might recognize the handwriting on this note.
It looks like Manny's handwriting.
I see, in that case. Oh, did you figure something out? This note was found in Alberhest. Specifically, it was found being firmly grasped by the murdered Damask II. Damask II? Then this note... Yes, it was a request from Mr. Cochin for Damask to steal the Prima Duck statue.
What? Manny tried to steal the Alberhest Prima Duck statue?
We would know for sure if we could run the handwriting analysis. Ambassador, do you have any documents that were handwritten by Mr. Cochin?
Yes, I could gather a few and give them to you.
I'll have to ask Detective Gumshoe later to run an analysis.
I can't believe that Manny would even think of doing something like this.
Do you have any idea as to why he would have requested the theft of the statue?
There's one possibility, but mind you, it's just my personal speculation.
Anything you can tell me would be a great help, Ambassador. I believe you said you might have an idea as to why Mr. Cochin hired Damask II.
Actually, I fear it might be my fault. As I was telling you earlier, we determined which statue was the real one as part of today's event.
But because of the Atagarasu and the fire here, that got cancelled, didn't it?
I'm actually relieved the rest of the event has been cancelled. For you see, Bull's statue, well, it's just a replica.
And did Mr. Cochin know that about the Bull's Prima Duck statue?
Of course he knew. That's why he was the only other person I could consult with. We'd have to do something once our statue was revealed as a replica. As to be expected, I was very nervous today, as this would impact our country's authority.
Yes, I understand.
Well, when I told Manny my concerns, he said, "Let me handle it. It'll be all right. I'll find a way to make sure that you're an ambassador of reunified Cadopia." At the time, I thought he was trying to cheer me up. But when I saw that note, I realized he was serious.
Mr. Cochin conducted a lot of business behind your back. I assume he did all that to ensure that you are the next Cadopian ambassador.
But why would he strike so hard, I wonder? He was so much better at getting things done than I ever was or will be. I don't have an answer to that as to yet he was trying so hard. But I suspect he had an ulterior motive in mind, beyond just simple kindness. Oh, here you are, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Gumshoe. Mr. Edgeworth?
Detective Gumshoe, have you collected the information I requested?
Yup, got it all right here, sir. Here you go, Kay. Feel free to take a look. It's for you, after all.
What is all this, Gummy?
It's all the information on this room that I got from the embassy and the Interpol people. Now we know exactly how this room was before or after the fire.
Good work, Detective.
It was nothing, sir. I'm an expert at getting people to talk.
Wow! You two remind me so much of my father and this Uncle Bad.
What do you mean?
As prosecutor and detective, your dynamic is just like theirs back in the day.
I don't know about that. I don't think Gumshoe and Detective Bad were ever very similar.
Well, don't worry. I'm gonna find out on my own wonderful partner someday.
Did this child compare Gumshoe to Bad? Okay, why are you defaming Bad like this? She sure did. Look, Gumshoe wishes he could be, like Detective Gordon or Batman. The combo of the two in Detective Bad. Actually, to be honest, I don't even know if Detective Gordon is even a good detective. I guess it depends on the iteration of Batman you're watching or reading or whatever. Commissioner Gordon is the only non-corrupt cop. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to put respect on that name. It's probably amazing and awful depending on the writer. Yeah, pretty much.
And when I do, I'm going to become a good Yatagarasu, just like my father, right? Please don't ask me questions to which I have no answer, Kay. However, I can say that it is truly a wonderful thing to find a partner you can trust. Heh, you bet!
The gasp, I pulled a different Platinum Sujimon. The Gacha gods were with me. It's because you weren't on stream, is that it? Which one did you pull? I'm sure you'll show it off next time, but...
So, what now, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I'd like to ask you a favor. Yes? That gadget, Mr. Thief, is it? The thing you call your secret weapon. Oh, you mean Little Thief? You're coming to rely on it, aren't you?
I don't need a crutch like that. I'm only asking because I need it for the investigation.
From the information Detective Gumshoe gathered and the ambassador's testimony, I'd like you to please recreate this room as it was during the third floor fire. You got it! Alright, here we go. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now, witness the true power of the real modern-day Robin Hood.
A dark type one.
It seems there are other things besides what the ambassador mentioned that have changed. It's possible we might find an escape route. Find the escape route the person Kay saw used as well.
Ew. What is this? Is this some sort of light show I was not told about?
This is the power of a true vigilante. It's recreating the room with the info I inputted.
Really? This is certainly one interesting device you have there, Miss Faraday.
I believe it is time we return to our investigation.
Okay, well, first of all, this moved. The grandfather clock. It was apparently in a different position before the fire.
According to the staff members, the clock was flush against the wall before the fire, sir.
Which means it most likely was moved by someone during the fire. Okay, but why wasn't it flush against the wall to begin with? I feel like it's a bad idea to just have your grandfather clock, like, freestanding with nothing behind it. I don't know. Grandfather clocks aren't as popular as they used to be, of course. I used to have one in my house growing up, though. I don't think it ever actually worked. It was just like a visual piece because the clock mechanism was like messed up. But
speaking of, it's totally 11 o'clock now, but I don't hear any chiming.
Huh? That's odd. It was still chiming right on the dot every hour this morning. Maybe the fire damaged its internal mechanisms or something.
Master Polino, may we look inside the clock?
Sure, go right ahead.
Detective Gumshoe, if you would please inspect the insides of the clock.
Yes, sir. I'm on it. Mr. Edgeworth, I found this inside, sir.
It looks like a length of wire. So, this is the cause of the clock stopped chiming. But what was that long length of wire doing inside the clock in the first place?
Why would someone do this? Such a valuable clock.
It sounds like it wasn't Mr. Polino that put the wire in there. Then perhaps it was Mr. Cochin's killer who did it.
Okay, so there's fire.
These must have been the large green flames that Master Polino saw.
With flames like these, it's no wonder he couldn't get in.
Okay. By the time you came into this room, had the fire already been put out?
Yeah, the fire died out or something by that time.
Then this fire is here, only burned for a time. From the time the fire started on the 3rd floor, until the Yatagarasu appeared and caused a stir in the ball, I suppose.
I guess Mr. Polino was just lucky enough to run into this fire as it was burning, huh?
Yes, you could put it that way. And since you were the first to discover the body, we can assume that no one else entered the room until that time. No one other than the person that you were chasing, of course.
I knew it! That person I saw was definitely up to no good. No good. I mean, that person couldn't even be Mr. Cochin's killer.
That's very likely the case. After all, that person came into this room before you, and must have been chosen this room precisely because they knew no one would be in here.
Okay, then maybe the green fire was where it was to prevent anyone from coming in? But then, what did the person set the fire...
Or what did the person set on fire to make the green flames? Well, whatever it was, that person burned. Whatever it was the person burned, it made a rather sizable fire.
And since it's a green fire, well, we've seen something that burns green, right? It's a bit tinier than the flames, but you get what I mean.
Yes, and I do believe what you're thinking is exactly why these flames are green.
Which fire-related piece of evidence burns the same color as these?
Take that!
The silhouette of the lantern. Its green flame comes from the white crystal oil that's burning. Okay.
Yeah, that's the fire I was thinking of too. I love the green fire it gives off.
I think we've now established the green flames were caused by the white crystal oil. Furthermore, we know that there is only one other thing made of white crystal oil.
Oh, you mean that thing Mr. Polino was mistaken about, right?
Yes, precisely. As we found out earlier in our investigation.
What? I don't get it. Can you fill me in, sirs?
Sir, fine. I suppose I'll explain it in a way that even you can understand. This is the thing that was made from white crystal oil that the Master Polino was mistaken about.
Take that!
Balinese ink is made from white crystal oil.
Oh, so it should burn the same color as the flames in the lantern, right?
Yes, precisely. However, the green flames in this room were not from the bottle of Balinese ink.
Because we found the ink Mr. Cochin used on his desk, right?
Yes, however, we know that Mr. Cochin was smuggling the ink in massive quantities. Now, what do you suppose he made using all that ink? I believe what he made with that ink is the answer to what gave birth to the green flames.
Oh yeah, I'm beginning to really feel the energy coming from you, Mr. Edgeworth.
It would appear that I finally found it. The smuggling ring's real goal. Made with Bolognese ink, this is the source of the green flames. I assume they're talking about the money? Yeah.
Take that!
What would consume that great volume of ink to make? That would be the counterfeit bills that was smuggling ring made and are circulating in Zenfar.
You're kidding! You're saying that Mr. Cochin who made the counterfeit bills?
I am. I believe you could even go so far as to say that he stole Babal's printing press.
Ambassador, Mr. Cochin had permission to freely use the printing press, correct?
Why, yes, I do remember seeing him using it in the middle of the night. But never did I think he was using it for such a foul deed.
Ambassador, because of your secretary's crimes, you need to be investigated as well.
Yes, I suppose so. Caused a bit of a trouble for a few countries, haven't we?
It is my duty to search out all shielded Mr. Cochin and concealed his crime, for they are the ones who started the fire in order to destroy the evidence. Boop, 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 boop. Child remains of the fallen ceiling fan.
Oh, I've seen a few of these before. They spin around and round and play music.
I believe you're thinking of the musical mobile for babies.
Yes, that's it.
But they're nothing alike.
Do they have fans in Japan? You know, I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a ceiling fan in an anime. They must have, right?
They're totally alike. They spin like those babies right around like a record.
Oh my god, Kay, really? They must, right? You would think.
Totally like. They spin those babies right round like a record, babe. Right round, right round.
I can only think of the regular standing fans. Seeing those all the time when it's too hot in the summer. Yeah.
It looks like one of those Bolognese knives was already missing before the fire began.
So it would seem, especially since the other two knives' handles were burned away.
The remaining handle was swapped out with the handle from the real murder weapon. And the Babal's national treasure was stolen. Poor Babal, don't you think?
I'm not sure I would lump the replica statue in with the rest of Babal's woes.
Okay, so we got the counterfeit.
So Babal is really into pushing their tourism industry, huh?
Yeah, so it would appear that way.
You know, I'd really love to take a trip. Hey, why don't we take one after this case?
Do you already have a destination in mind?
Well, ideally I'd like to go someplace where I can continue my thief training.
Well, if you want to learn the fine art of stealth, perhaps you should visit the studio where they make Jamming Ninja TV show.
Hey, that's actually a really great idea, Mr. Edgeworth.
I can't believe she took me seriously.
They apparently exist but are relatively rare. Okay.
A fireplace, huh? So Babal's office has them too.
Okay, no, we already did this. Can't believe we found that undershirt. I was looking here because the flag is lit up. Okay, apparently that's just not a thing we're looking at.
That looks like a very comfortable chair.
Well, it doesn't look all that broken, so why don't you try sitting in it?
No, I'd better not. It's very important we preserve the crime scene as all.
Wait, you're always touching all sorts of things at the crime scenes.
That's because I'm a prosecutor, and it is my part of the job to examine things.
And it's my job to be a great thief.
Which is exactly why you're not allowed to touch anything. Let's see, the embassy. So where were you? Okay, this is the same as well. Okay, so we looked at all the things that were lit up, I believe. So we have to probably talk to, the people now, hey? It's the national symbol of the ball. Okay, anyway. Okay, apparently we fully talked to him. Gumshoe. Detective, you took your part in the initial Babal investigation, correct?
Yep, sure did. Also helped put out both fires, sir. But that's the first fire took me by surprise. I had a tough time escaping the 5th floor. First I tried the elevator, but I guess someone else had the same idea because it was in use. If I hadn't remembered to use the stairs at that point, I'd have been burnt to a crisp.
Wait, that's odd. We always warn our staff that in case of fire, it's dangerous to use the elevator. Oh?
Maybe someone wrote it in a fit of panic?
Detective, did you see the Atagarasu that came into the Babali's embassy at all?
I didn't personally. And the other staff members told me they never got a good look at the person either, sir.
I wonder if you could tell me a bit more about what you discovered, Detective.
During the second fire broke out around the time the Yatagarasu was spotted in Albahest. That's also when a suspicious person was spotted in the Babal, which caused some panic.
Hold it!
So, no one was able to get a good look at this Yatagarasu that has entered Babal.
Yeah, all they saw was a mysterious person wearing a long coat. That's not enough to make a positive ID, you know.
Still, it was enough to make the people who received the calling card panic even more.
Person in a lawn coat? Sounds like the exact same person I saw.
Unfortunately, one of the longest cases in the franchise is the name Albahest, Babal, and Cadopia, and especially when you're reading and voicing it. Anytime, okay, Babal, Albahest, and Cadopia themselves aren't that bad. It's when they get, like, prefaced as, like, the Babalinese embassy, or the Albahestian, that's where it gets really fucky for me. Or when I have to say those words as Francisca. The Yatagarasu that appeared in Albahest was proven to be a fabrication, a shadow. In light of the fact the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babal is also a suspect.
You can't be serious! Not when we're this close to capturing the fake. I mean, Callisto, you!
So the Yatagarasu appeared, caused a mass confusion, killed Mr. Cochin, and then disappeared. By the way, Detective, why did you not chase after the Yatagarasu?
I did, but well, this embassy is huge, sir. I got separated from the other staff members I was with, and was at a loss while there.
Hold it!
You didn't even memorize the layout of the building you were to guard, Detective.
I'm sure I'll do that from now on, sir. But you know, it was thanks to me that being lost that I was able to come to Kay's rescue.
Oh, is that a fact?
Yeah. It was when I was lost and wandering around in the 3rd floor hallway, sir. I heard the screams, and I headed towards it right away.
Oh, that was probably from when I found Mr. Cochin's body.
Yeah, I thought it sounded like her, so I got real worried and ran as fast as I could.
And it was thanks to Gummy that Miss Sheena wasn't able to take me away. You covered for me until you got here, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, I see. So he can be useful on occasion, once in a blue moon?
Still, it's too bad that Agent Sheena got here before I did.
I wonder where Agent Sheena was before you found her here.
Well, just before I got to this room, I saw her coming out of the room next door. Dun dun dun.
Okay, I think I'm starting to connect the dots of remembering what's going on.
Agent Sheena mentioned something about chasing the Yatagarasu herself earlier.
Well, she apparently helped in putting out the fire first. During the second fire, I heard she was busy chasing the Yatagarasu.
She seemed to be a very dedicated agent. You would do well to learn from her.
Why are you pointing at me like when you say that, sir?
I've examined everything in this office, but there is one thing that bothers me. Perhaps I should ask Ambassador Polano about it.
May want to find a spot to take like a 5-minute break soon to celebrate remembering.
Yes.
I think after this like engagement, it would be good to take a short break, yeah.
About the office. It appears to me to be very similar to the Ambassador Alba's office. For example, the location of the fireplace and the position of the grandfather clock.
That's right. You've also paid a visit to the Ambastian side of the embassy. Our two embassies are actually used to be one.
Yes, I know. Even the pamphlet mentions that.
Which is why the building is bilaterally symmetrical. Bilaterally symmetrical. Like, those are words, obviously, but that feels like something that no one just casually brings up in conversation. So, no matter which room, location, the fireplace, or the likes are exactly the same. What demented architect did that to form a giant robot? This goddamn bullshit case. It's true, the courthouse case did tell us that it was to make a giant robot. Speaking of giant robots, how is freaking well, maybe they don't really have giant robots in Sentai, but how is Kamen Rider, Captain? We worked hard to make Maddie's room look like the ambassador's office.
You mean for your handshake photo op with the jamming ninja?
Yes, that's right. I mean, what photo is like that worth if not taken in the ambassador's office, right?
Yet another odd expression of Ball's obsessively competitive spirit with Albahast, I take it.
Oh, Autobot has held a thing in blocked. Deny. Thanks for setting up the block words, Bubbles. I assume that was you. I think you did that at some point in the past. The gummy bear chocolate bar were assaulted by pudding jellyfish. That's a sentence. That means... Right, they're like... Are they like junk food themed? Who is not the girl rider? Which I feel like it's not a Bradford, Japan. Snack themed. Yes.
Thank you, Ambassador. This piece of information is all I needed to connect the dots.
Connect what dots? Well, anyway, I'm glad I was able to help some... Okay. So then, what's left? A statue. Already been swapped. They must have been... This one's covered in soot. What lousy timing. Would have been better if they'd stolen that than for it to be caught in the fire. Okay, I think I understand your sentiment. However, oh wait, this is new.
However, if you were to engage in theft, I can't look the other way, right?
If you could please stop stealing my lines.
Has someone used macarons yet? Not yet. That's unfortunate. Macarons are amazing. I love macarons. Appears that the desk is largely unchanged from before the fire.
Yeah, it's got a little burn, but that's it.
It's a very fine desk. I'm sure that even now it's still usable.
If that's the great, then why don't you trade your desk with it?
No.
Which is a suggestion. You didn't have to get all monosyllabic on me, you know?
Okay, so they're not letting me check the fireplace. Oh, the fire safe. Safe wasn't open at the time of the fire. You could tell because the inside wasn't. Yeah, okay, this is the same. Okay, but ultimately, what we're trying to prove. Oh, I just gotta link puzzle pieces, don't I? That's actually what I need to do. Yeah. Renovations. Coachin's room. Okay, so let's connect these. So far, they have gummy potato chip, hard candy, marshmallows, chocolate, donuts, strawberry shortcake, bûche de Noël, ramen pudding. Ramen is for the DVD magazine special. Okay. The Albacian and the Bolognese sides of the buildings are symmetrical to each other. As we know that to be fact, then this room's fireplace may also hide a secret passage.
A secret passage?
In Albahas, the fireplace turned out to have a revolving back wall.
A revolving back wall? That sounds like something out of a ninja house.
Wow, there was a trick like that. Built into the fireplace, sir. What? This embassy holds that kind of secret? Seems to be a lot of this room that you don't know about, Ambassador. I guess it's time to pay the bill for letting Manny do so much work for me. Please, I really want to know about the real Manny and what you know about this room.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Let's get to the bottom of this.
Agreed. And my first thought is that it's likely the killer used the revolving fireplace.
It looks like just another fireplace, doesn't it? So how do you turn it again?
Nalbahas had to push where the X was on the far wall of the fireplace.
Oh, I see an X back there, sir. Let's see what happens when I push it.
Hold it.
You scared me, sir.
There's something about this fireplace that lies in the contradiction of the facts.
Huh? But we found an X where you thought there'd be one, right?
We did, but that's not what I was referring to. Something is missing from the scene. Contradiction is there. Well, there's like a clean fireplace, but do I have an actual thing I can use on this though? I don't remember what information we were given. That's what we have. Okay. Spot is connected to anything. Oh, apparently the toy line does have macarons as a store exclusive promotion, along with popcorn and caramel. Parfait writer. Present. Master Paleno, you said that you burned some old files in the fireplace today, correct? Yes, I burned quite a few files this morning, actually. And after you did, you forgot to clean out the ashes from the fireplace, correct? That's right. Why are you asking? Why are you making such a scary face? I'm sorry to admit I'm a bit intimidating when I'm serious. In any case, take a good look at this fireplace and tell me what you find odd about it. Let's see. Huh? Where did all the ashes go?
What's the meaning of this, Mr. Edgeworth?
You don't really think
that Ambassador Paleto's lying, do you?
It's Edgeworth. It's Gumshoe's voice in particular, because I do the thing where like it kind of grates against the throat. Because Apparently, I've decided that Gumshoe is essentially an anime boy protagonist.
And I don't believe his testimony is wrong either. It's the fireplace that's causing the contradiction.
Gumshoe wishes.
Okay, I wonder if you might update the fireplace data for me.
You got it. I'll add in the ashes from the burnt files and... Sounds like we pretty much figured out everything now, huh?
Well, it was nothing. All I did was follow where our leads led us.
Oh, I sense it coming on. You're about to dazzle us again, right?
Oh, you mean that? Well, it's Mr. Edgeworth is known for, you know.
There's really no need for you two to dance around the name of what I'm about to do.
Logic!
Well, the missing ashes shows that the fireplace was used.
The reason as to why the ashes are missing is simple.
It's not because someone cleaned them up, right?
No, because even if someone did sweep them up, the fireplace is too clean for that. Ambassador Plano, you said that he spilled some Balinese ink while he was burning the files. And yet, there's not a trace of spilled ink on the back wall anywhere.
Well, then I don't know what happened.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Two sides were switched. By using the revolving fireplace wall, the ashes were moved into the neighboring room. Which means that this is a clear indication that the fireplace was used.
Then, you mean the person I was chasing disappeared from this room through there?
Yes, I believe the person you were in pursuit of is Miss Cochin's killer. And after committing the murder, escaped through the fireplace.
Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, you figured out the killer's escape route.
I have, but this is only the beginning. Now, we have to chase the killer down. Guys, guess who did the murdering? If the killer used the fireplace in this room to escape into the next, then it's only logical for us to talk with the person who was in the neighboring room.
Well, the person that was in the next room was... Oh, it was that person, sir!
An anime boy protagonist consumes in one meal what Gumshoe gets an entire year. They do both eat a lot of ramen, though. You know? A lot of anime boy protagonists do consume a lot of ramen. Especially if we pretend that Gumshoe is somehow Naruto.
Yes, Detective. Agent Sheena. Investigation complete.
It's looking more and more like Miss Sheena is the killer, isn't it?
Let's not jump to conclusions yet. We need to go through what we know so far. She came running straight into this room from the next one and instantly accused you. Furthermore, she claimed that it was the only could have been you that killed Mr. Cochin. I don't have any proof yet. However, I know that she is hiding something from us.
Okay then, why don't we go ask Miss Sheena herself?
Hold it!
No, not yet. There's something needs to be done first. Detective Gumshoe.
Sir, is it my turn to do something, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes. I have two-part special assignment for you. First, I need you to run a handwriting analysis on Damask's note.
Okay, I'll get the lab boys right away.
Second, I want you to see if you can fit through the revolving fireplace wall.
Right now, sir?
No, next decade. Of course now. I need to test our hypothesis first, don't we?
Go on, Gummy, you can do it.
All right. I'm gonna do this like a real man. Here I go. Through the fireplace and back.
You shouldn't need to psych yourself up that much for such a simple task, Detective.
Wow, the wall inside the fireplace really did turn.
That's so neat. Now I want to try going through there too.
Really is a secret passageway through there. I had no idea. It would appear that the ashes really was pushed into the other room. Furthermore, the Bolognese ink you spilled, Ambassador, is there on the back wall.
Okay, here I go, sir.
Hold it.
Detective, I'd like you to go through there under the same conditions as the killer.
Huh? But there's all that ash and stuff.
Your point is, now we're short on time. So, if you could please hurry on through.
Ugh, yes, sir.
Okay, so now we pretty much have the whole picture, right?
Not yet. There remains a few more mysteries to solve, such as the Atagarasu's whereabouts, the other smuggling ring members, the 2 weapons made across the border, the key Miss Yu stole 7 years ago. In fact, we haven't figured out a thing regarding how Miss Yu is related to these embassies. Mr. Edgeworth! A number of pieces connect a very complicated way in this case. It's almost enough to make one completely mentally exhausted. Oh, Edgeworth. You have no idea.
What are you saying, Mr. Edgeworth? I thought you were the one who said it's easy if you follow the leads.
Was that supposed to be an impression of me? Okay.
If it's information gathering you need, Gummy and I can help with that. Then all you have to do is show off your fancy schmancy logical deductions.
Show off? Does it seem like I'm being boastful when I do that?
Let's not overcomplicate matters, okay, Mr. Edgeworth? We've been so focused like a laser on only what seems strange and out of place. It's no wonder nothing's clicked and we haven't unlocked anything yet. But if we think of things through calmly, the answer should come to us.
Hey.
That's the sort of thing I say to myself when I'm practicing how to unlock padlocks, you know.
That is something I hope practice doesn't make perfect, for your sake.
Look, it looks like you're back to your straight-laced self again.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back, sir.
Yes, I can see that. Good work, Detective. Cough, 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 cough.
Looks like you can use that fireplace like a door, sir.
Are you alright, Gummy? Are you alright, Gummy?
I don't know why I went like... Okay.
I'm okay. Just a bit of ash and dust, that's all.
Your jacket has gotten quite filthy. I see the hem was practically turned black.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of unburned ink got on it, sir.
I see. Thank you, Detective. You did a fine job. I'll even pay the cleaning bill for the trench coat.
What? Oh, no, sir, I could never. This is just my old coat, sir. If it was a coat I actually cared about, then I'd get it cleaned, but, you know.
I see. Very well, as you wish. Okay, but Gumshoe, maybe you should get it cleaned. You've been into a lot of crime scenes in that coat. Gumshoe, you fool. Oh no, Gumshoe, you've turned captain into Francisca.
So, because Gummy was able to climb through the fireplace, we know it can be used, right?
Yes, but that's not all we learned. We actually learned that one other important fact.
And that is?
I will have to explain it to you later. Right now, we need to deal with the handwriting analysis. Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir, I'll be back before you know it.
Handwriting analysis on Mr. Cochin's handwriting will take a bit of time. Let us go and wait in the Theatrum Neutralis, along with Agent Lane and Agent Sheena. To be continued. Save your progress. Okay, this is where I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to rejuvenate my throat for a sec before we go into the next part. Grime is flammable. Like you never clean your coat, it slowly builds up a protective layer of grime. Okay, yeah, but I'll be right back. Alright, friendos, I have returned. Interesting. Apparently at some point I dropped a bunch of frames, but it seems fine right now, so hopefully everything is good. Okay. March 14th, 1133. Theatrum Neutralis. And thank you. Agent Lang. Lang Z says, little cubs never do know when the real fury of the elder wolves. These quotes are definitely becoming increasingly difficult to decipher. And what does that mean? It means that you never really know how angry I can get. Mr. Prosecutor, counterfeit bills made with Balbonese ink, they were all Zenfar denominations. Yeah, so I heard from Miss Von Karma. But we don't know where the play money has gone. You must not have figured out that it was all burned up yet. Ever since those things showed up in circulation, my country's economy has taken a big hit. Zenfar is in a financial chaos as we speak, because we can't tell the difference between our own bills and these fakes. But it's not just the money. Citizens are also worried. I've staked the honor of the House of Lang on this, and have come to this land to capture the mastermind behind this whole mess. I investigated how the bills were made, and how the ink was smuggled into Zenfar. And I pursued the smuggling ring all the way here. But tonight, this is where the final chapter was written. Despite my frantic efforts to chase the smugglers down, someone got to them first. And now I'm called to return home without a single answer. Agent Lang, Don't start. It's not your fault. What gasp? It's not anyone's fault, Mr. Prosecutor. It's almost like Lang is starting to believe in me. Ambassador Alba, I'm sorry for all the trouble tonight.
No. It is I who should apologize. It was all because I was not strong enough. Oh, if only I was able to think of a better solution. Quercus, you fool. Curse your empty brain.
You're being too hard on yourself, Ambassador. I take full responsibility for tonight. End of story. Sheena, let's go. Time to return to our den. Yes. I don't like to admit it, but there's not much else for us to do but go home as well. Agent Lane, a moment if you would hold it. Oh, it's Gumshoe. Gumshoe got to hold it.
You, Wolfman, the secretary lady, hold it! Objection, pal!
Detective Gumshoe, have you got the results of the handwriting analysis already?
Yep, and that note was definitely written by Mr. Cochin, sir.
Just as I thought. Good work, Detective. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. How long do you intend to hold us up for? Sorry to have made you wait, but I believe that now everyone is finally here. Agent Sheena, I'd like to ask you something if you don't mind. Yes. How exactly do you fail to see the Yatagarasu when you were in the neighboring room to where Mr. Cochin was killed? I'd like you to explain that to us. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. What are you doing asking her about something like she didn't see? Agent Lane hasn't touched Bamol's investigation at all, so I suppose I will need to explain a few things to him first. Ms. Edgeworth, I can't begin to imagine what's going on in your head of yours. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The only thing going on in my head is the pursuit of the truth. Oh. Sounds like you have some plan. Very well. I'll supervise you until the end. She's seriously going to treat me as a subordinate for the rest of the day. You're not trying to pick a fight with my subordinate on some flimsy guess, are you?
I'm not trying to pick a fight. The evidence is hardly flimsy, as you will see. The tandem removal. I should have known that you and I are destined to fight it out to the end. It would appear that way.
Double point's really good.
Well, I'll prove her innocent, so let's see what you've got, Prosecutor Edgeworth. With pleasure. For my opening argument, I'll discuss the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babal, and establish exactly who it was that Kay saw. Agent Lang, I assume you've been briefed on Kay's testimony.
You mean the suspicious person in the coat that she saw?
That's right. The person is the one of the keys to solving this case. The person who pretended to be the Yatagarasu.
Pretended? And what do you mean by that?
I'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to review what Kay's mystery person did. Kay, if you would please explain to us what the person you were chasing did.
Okay, you got it.
I first spotted the suspicious person near the open-air stage on the Babali's side. I called out to the person, but as soon as I did, that person ran off. I thought it was rather suspicious, so I immediately gave chase.
For the sake of argument, let's call the suspicious person the Yatagarasu. Now, please tell us what happened when you chased the Yatagarasu up to the 3rd floor.
Can do.
I chased the Yatagarasu all the way up to the 3rd floor of the Babali's embassy. It was a pretty straight chase down the hall until its sudden turn. The Yatagarasu disappeared around the corner, so I did my best to catch up. When I turned the corner, I saw the Yatagarasu run into Mr. Cochin's office. I gave chase and ran into the room. But when I entered the room, it was pitch black, and I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned on the light, but then...
Who's there?
By the time I had turned on the light, the Yatagarasu had disappeared.
When Kay entered the room, the person she was chasing was already gone. Why do you suppose that was, Agent Lane?
What do you mean, what do I suppose? Isn't it obvious? Person slipped out through the door behind the girl under the cover of darkness.
Sorry, but I know for a fact the person didn't escape through the door.
Oh, how do you know such certainty?
That's easy. If the Yatagarasu had left through the door, then they would have run right into this person.
Take that! Your answer, Sheena!
Yes, because let's consider what would have happened if the Yatagarasu had used the door. When Kay screamed upon discovering Mr. Cochin's body, the Yatagarasu would have run right into Agent Sheena, who was in the room next door. Ugh. Agent Sheena, would you mind telling us if you saw the suspicious person in question?
No, I did not. I didn't see anyone.
You see, therefore the Yatagarasu did not go through the...
It just means that the creep slipped out before Sheena made it out of the hallway.
I doubt that, as there was another person in the hallway, a certain detective. Detective Gumshoe, where were you exactly at that time?
Me, sir? Well, when I heard Kay scream, I ran towards Mr. Cochin's office from the opposite direction of Agent Sheena, sir.
Oh look, Gumshoe was for once in the good place at the right time.
So, Agent Lang, can you explain how someone could have eluded both of them? Even you must concede that under these circumstances, the door was not a viable route.
No.
Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth. You nailed him, with just an explanation of what happened. Yes.
I've eliminated one of the possible escape routes from the room. But this is far from over. I need to make Agent Length aware of that as well. Of yet another possible escape route that the Yatakarasu could have taken. I get it. So that's what you were trying to show me. Mr. Prosecutor? Let me guess. This is what you're trying to say, right? Because the door was not a viable escape route, then he must have been another way out. Precisely. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, it's time to bust out our revolving fireplace wall explanation, right? Oh, not quite yet.
Huh? But why? I thought this would be the perfect time.
The revolving wall on the Bolognese side is known only to 4 people. And if we use this information unwisely, the truth may escape us in the end.
What's with all the whispering over there? Scared I'll figure out your tactics?
I feel like Gumshoe doesn't know how to whisper. Like, he definitely has that trait of, like, the person who just shouts in a bar, like, information that probably shouldn't. For real, yo. I made myself some more warm tea, so it's helping. Nothing of the sort, Agent Lang. Come, let us continue where we left off.
That smug haughty attitude of yours really rubbed me the wrong way, you know that?
Gumshoe versus Taiju, yo.
Well, no matter. I figured you out already anyway. The only other possible escape route besides the door is the room's lone window. And since an eerie picture of what you said, and since an eerie picture of said escape route exists, are you saying that this photo captures the moment of the Atakarasu's escape?
This Detective Bad must have filled him in on this photo. I have to admit that at first I thought the window to be a possible escape route as well. However, I now know that to be impossible.
Now, I realize you may not know this, but humans can't fly.
Of course I know that. That's bloody common sense. Besides, I never said I thought the photo to be of the Yatakarasu's escape route.
I suppose not. Alright then, explain yourself.
The shadow in this photo is not the Yatakarasu that Kay was chasing after.
You can say whatever you like in whatever language you want. But there's only one language I really understand, the language of evidence.
Very well. Then, I present to you proof that the person Kay saw is not the same one as the one in this photo. Wait, what? I have proof of that? What are they asking here? I don't know what they're asking here. Is it because of when it was taken? Because Kay saw someone during the second fire and that was taken during the first fire? So if I just present the photo? I guess this.
Take that!
Okay, apparently the photo also would have been correct. Let me explain to you precisely why the shadow in this photo is not the Yatagarasu Kay saw. Kay spotted the Yatagarasu heading for the 3rd floor during the 2nd fire. However, the photo in question was taken just after the 1st fire.
No!
Yeah, way to go. That's twice you've bit him in the butt now.
We're not done yet. You still have to explain what that shadow is, and how the Yatagarasu escaped. I don't suppose you can answer both, can you? Regarding the photo, I admit that we don't understand what it means quite yet. Heh, as I thought. However, the Yatagarasu's escape route, now that I can answer. You can. Well then, Mr. Prosecutor, go on. Enlighten me.
Hold it!
Even if I explain it. Even if I explain it, you'll try to find some flaw with what I have to say. You were busy heading up to the Albestian investigation, correct? In that case, I doubt you have much knowledge of the Babalinese side of the case. So wouldn't it be best for the lead on that side, Agent China, explained in my stead? China's my subordinate. If I don't stick up for her, how can I look her in the eye and call myself her boss? King, it's alright. I can take care of him. Sheena, you've shitted me a lot as my boss. But it's time for me to prove my worth. Alright, if you're okay with it, then you have my support. Finally. It's down to just Agent Sheena and myself. This is where the battle really begins. Now then, what is it that you'd like to ask? Let's see. Why don't we start with your movements inside the Babalinese embassy? Oh, okay. Sheena's movements. During the first Babalinese fire, I assisted in putting out the fire. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu that had been appeared in Babal. While I was searching, I heard a scream coming from the next room over. Miles, this is where it really begins. Reminder, this is still the middle part of the goddamn infinite case. Yep. Although it was the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical the girl's Yatagarasu even exists. That's all I have to say. But I'm not lying when I say I saw the suspicious person run into Mr. Cochin's office. Like I said earlier, I have no intention of retracting my testimony. Good. Just to confirm, did you have a partner when you were on your investigation? No, I moved alone. In that case, you have no one to corroborate your alibi, is that correct? Are you calling her suspicious because she was in a room by herself? How pathetic. And it wasn't when Sheena tried to arrest Kay under the same rationale. And how about when you accused Larry because he was the weapon's owner? You know, it's nice once in a while when Miles gets to have the edge on someone like this. 'Cause it doesn't happen that often, so... Not that I unexpected for a useless lump to get into such a situation. Although, I suppose it's never a good idea to let mistakes go uncorrected. I will make no excuses for what I did in that situation. You should apologize right now for making Kay out to be the killer, pal. Sorry. Sheena, apologize. Interesting. And I'll give him this. He does apologize. I'm sorry.
It's really okay. I mean, I'm not under suspicion anymore. Right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Well, I never doubted you, not for a second. And the same goes for me. I believe in Sheena. Now let's put that to the test and see if she really is worthy of your trust. Heh heh. These
promises to be interesting. Sheena's movements. Okay, there we go. Alright, Dreamford put out the fire. The second fire was searching for the Yatakarasu. While I was searching, I heard the scream coming from the next room over. It was the next room. I was able to catch a glimpse of the Yatakarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical of the girls Yatakarasu exists. Okay. Let us back. Okay.
Hold it!
They just had so much dialogue in between. Okay. So you helped with the fire extinguishing effort. I was in charge of the police on the Babali side, so I helped them with their work. Police doing the job of firemen. You really know how to work people. Sure does. That's because she's one awesome woman who knows how to manage. I guess so. She's always bringing your business card or scroll at just the right time. To prepare for everything before I am ordered to. That is the definition of a secretary.
Kinda seems more capable than Agent Lane, doesn't she?
At the very least, she's certainly more capable than you, Detective.
Oof. Poor Gumshoe.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that.
Sheena's more than just capable secretary, you know. Sheena, tell him what other things you're good at. Alright. Second one, I was searching for the Yatakarasu.
Hold it!
And by the second fire, you mean the one consumed the third floor of the Babal, correct? Yes, that was when the suspicious person was spotted in Babal.
Then you were after the same person in the long coat that I was after.
There is no proof that the suspicious person was really the Yatakarasu, because no one was able to get a good look at the person's face. By the way, how was your team's investigation? In order to extinguish the fire, the water was pumped into the third floor via the windows. So a majority of the investigators conducted their researches on the other floors. Maybe they did, but there was one person who was wandering around the lost on the third floor. Oh, he wasn't meant to be on the third floor. Okay. When the fire was pretty much out, I moved to investigate the third floor. And you did that alone? Yes. I was searching, I heard a scream.
Hold it!
So you were in the room next to Mr. Cochin's office. I already told you I was earlier, as I was examining the neighboring room. I heard the girl's shrill scream. Upon hearing her, I immediately ran towards Mr. Cochin's office, wherein you proceeded to arrest her, as I recall. Yes, I did.
But she was totally innocent, pal. I thought we had already cleared that up.
And I thought I had already apologized for my behavior. Now, in the tenacious detective would be kind as to be quiet. I have to agree, right now is not the time to take issue with that.
Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
But what I do take issue with is the fact that you didn't see the Yatakarasu, Agent Sheena. The prosecutor of this country are so strange. Though there was in the next room, I was able to catch a glimpse of the Yatakarasu.
Hold it!
You were unable to catch a glimpse, despite being in the next room. Is that true? I really hate to repeat myself. I'm sorry for inconveniencing you. However, I simply wish to make sure that you are not misremembering something. We wouldn't want you to be accused of lying later on, would we? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Are you calling Sheena's testimony a lie? Agent Lane, I'm talking with Agent Sheena right now. So I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't interrupt us with superfluous comments.
Grr.
Oh, Lang.
Aw, you know, I feel kind of bad for him.
I understand his pain at watching one of his subordinates being accused. However, I cannot turn my eyes from the truth. Rain, I am alright. And as for you, I think you should be focusing on your doubts on the girl rather than me. And why is that? To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical the Girl Satagarasu even exists. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that the whole "you're gonna lie" is if we present the because he's like, I didn't see them when I was in the next room, and we're like, but we know how the Yatagarasu escaped, which is through the fireplace.
Objection!
Being in the room next to Mr. Coach's office is the problem with your testimony.
Not so fast!
Mr. Prosecutor, I don't see what the problem you're talking about. H. Lane, do you recall the secret we discovered about the Albestian office fireplace? Huh? Oh, you mean how it connects to the office with the room next door? What about it? Well, Albest isn't the only country with a secret connecting fireplace. What? The fireplace at Mr. Cochin's office holds the exact same secret. What? Yatagarasu didn't escape through the door to the room or the window. The escape route was through the revolving fireplace wall and into the next room over.
Just the full head back tilt with the water with the hair moving.
Now do you see? If the Yatagarasu had escaped into the next room, and then the thief would have run straight into Agent Sheena, meaning that it is impossible for her to have missed the Yatagarasu. That is the meaning of this maze. Well, would you care to explain, Agent Sheena, how you managed to completely miss the fleeing Yatagarasu, or shall I?
Oh.
You claim that you were in the next room was a lie all along, wasn't it? The truth is, you were the one Kay saw in the coat. Pretending to be the Yatagarasu, you were the one she chased after. As you tried to lose her, you ran into Mr. Cochin's office and headed to the fireplace. Then, you shedded your coat in the next room, leaving it there, to emerge as Agent Sheena. After that, you came back around the place to place Kay under arrest. Does that sound about right? If not, then speak now, or forever hold your peace. How dare you make Kate look like the bad guy when you're the suspicious one, pal?
Oh, you know it's bad when Lane has moved to the same side as us, guys.
Sheena?
Gee, that looks familiar, huh? Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna take some water first.
That laugh. I remember this irritating laugh. I'm getting chills down my spine.
It can't be. But it has to be.
Clearly we're at the end of the case, right? We found the fake Yatagarasu. Sheena, what's wrong with you? Sorry. It was just so funny I couldn't help but laugh. Funny you say. Yes, that you would accuse me of being the Yatagarasu. The prosecutor of this country really are so very strange. Do you think you could get away with this just by laughing it off? You think I'm taking things too lightly? I think not. It's that prosecutor who is. Look, everything you've said earlier is nothing more than mere speculation. Yatagarasu fled through the fireplace? Do you even have any proof to back up your claim?
If you don't, then you don't have to, a thing to regard. Haven't proven a thing regarding the Yatagarasu's escape route. The tone of your voice you're taking with me now has certainly changed.
Yeah, it's changed to a voice that I can do more regularly, thankfully.
That's because it's been a while since I've had this much fun. I think I'll let loose, and then we can have a real battle of wits. For an agent of Interpol to show me the true power of her mind, it is a great honor. Don't underestimate me. I'm not some foolish broad, you know. I know. That is why I won't hold anything back either, as I answer your question. My question? Here is your proof that the revolving fireplace wall in Babal was used recently.
Is this the testimony from, this? Yeah.
Take that!
I'm sorry, but is this really your honest answer to my question? Yes. According to the Ambassador Peleno's testimony, he said that he was burning some documents in the fireplace with Mr. Cochin. Oh. The ashes of what they burned were left in the fireplace, so they should have been there. However, when we went to investigate the room, the ashes weren't there. Why is that a problem? Maybe someone cleaned them up.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, Ambassador Peleno said that he forgot to. And so the question remains, why were the ashes missing? The answer is simple. When the Yatagarasu went through the fireplace wall, the ashes were pushed into the next room by the wall as well. The movement of the ashes is where in Mr. Cochin's office is my proof. And just what is so funny? Ashes as proof. Are you even allowed to submit such fakey evidence as that? Flaky evidence as that? You still wish to fight us? Of course. Why wouldn't I? In that case, let me hear your counter-argument. My counter-argument, huh? Really is just like being in the court. Well, to me, we're simply continuing from where we left off all those years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. It doesn't matter if we're at the crime scene or in court. Let's finish this here and now.
Guys, we're gonna finish the case today.
I suppose. I've had a lot of fun today, but I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. See? She said it was the last one. She just rebuttal. In my eyes, all you've proven is that the rotating fireplace was used. But you can't really call that proof. The Yatagarasu used the fireplace, now can you? So then, who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence. Remember, we're already finished our very thorough investigation, and we found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Cochin's office. And there you have it, my counter-argument. That's very impressive. She's seen through the fact that I've yet to gather one piece of evidence.
Yes, and she famously has told us nothing but the truth in other news. I have a bridge for sale, barely used.
What is it, Kate? I haven't heard a peep out of you in quite a while now.
If you don't think you can handle it, feel free to leave the rest to us. But Okay, pull yourself together. You are the true heir of the Yatagarasu name, are you not?
You know, I've never noticed, because they rarely have them like this side by side, but like the size of, like Kay is weirdly sized bigger than Miles is. And they almost look like they're like two different artists because the styling of them.
If you want to steal the truth, then you must never take your eyes off of it. This chase you're running to catch the truth, you must see it through to the very end.
Edgy was doing tough love there. He sure was. Miles was always tiny, confirmed.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're right. I will see this through to the end. So, you go get her for me, Mr. Edgeworth.
And with pleasure. Looks like you lack evidence. Has left you wide open, doesn't it? Sheena, please. Show me you're someone I can trust. And don't worry, this will be the deciding match. You'll see.
I'm truly sorry, Agent Lang, but I simply can't allow her to escape me again. Very well then, Agent Sheena. Shall we begin?
I'm ready when you are. Sheena's rebuttal! Okay. In my eyes, you've proven is the rotating fireplace was used.
Hold it.
Ooh, we got the music.
Sounds to me like you're saying my explanation is not good enough.
But I was able to go through the revolving door myself. So that should be proof enough, even for you, pal.
It looks like you don't quite understand. But by your looks, I can guess that you're not all that learned.
Youch. Talk about rude. You should watch what you say, pal.
Sadly, I can't say I disagree with her on that one. But you know what I mean, right? You may have proven that the fireplace was used. But you can't really call that proof that the Yatagarasu was used the fireplace, now can you?
Hold it.
So you want to prove that the Yatagarasu was the one who used the fireplace?
That's right.
Well, do you have any?
Hold it. Can you prove that it wasn't the Yatagarasu who used the fireplace?
I don't need to prove anything to you.
Objection!
Hold it.
Okay, if you could please don't steal my line.
Sorry, but I just couldn't hold it anymore.
Well, don't fret. Leave her to me. All you have to do is sit back and watch. You may seem to have some wiggle room, but without any evidence, it's meaningless. So then who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence.
Hold it.
It's possible that the Yatagarasu left fingerprints inside the fireplace. Sorry, but I had the forensic team check that already. All they found were prints belonging to the Ambassador, Paleno, and Mr. Cochin. Curses. I should have known better than to think the Yatagarasu would have been so careless. But there must be some sort of evidence that we still have yet to find. I take it you have no further objections? Remember, we've all finished our thorough investigation.
Hold it.
So Interpol is finished in examining the entire Balinese embassy. Yes, the investigators who weren't allowed into the Alabasta were incredibly helpful. They all put in a great effort to search for any signs of the Yatagarasu. And yet, despite all that, it appears that they failed to notice the lack of ashes in the office fireplace. Furthermore, you were the one who investigated the room next to Mr. Cochin's, correct? I didn't notice the ashes in the fireplace of that room, and for that I am sorry. You don't need to apologize, Sheena. As your boss, your mistakes are my mistakes. So allow me to apologize for you. I'm sorry.
You know, maybe this guy is not such a bad guy after all.
He apologized for his subordinates and everything. What a great boss.
Are you saying that I don't do anything for my own subordinates?
No, nothing of the sort, sir. You're someone I really respect, sir, even if you are a bit too strict sometimes.
That's only a problem on your end.
Wow, way to be super hard on him in response.
Am I really too strict on everyone? Oh, Miles. How did she get into Interpol? I mean, I assume the Yatagarasu who steals shit all the time has a lot of, like, methods for that, right? Especially if she's part of, like, the smuggling ring, maybe, but not really. I mean, obviously she killed Kochin because Kochin killed her sister or whatever, but... Anyway, Sheena, you didn't find anything in Mr. Kochin's office, right?
That's right. We finished our investigation. And we found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Kochin's office.
Hold it!
So you really didn't find anything. Oh, wait. She's built different. So you didn't really find anything. I mean, to be fair, you could also ask how frickin' Francisca's in Interpol. Because for whatever reason, people think you could just transition from being a lawyer to other things very easily in these games.
Yes, as I said, nothing suspicious at all. Not a suspicious thing. Although, as you already know, we did find the Yatagarasu key in the document detailing the smuggling operation. But we still haven't found the blade that belongs to the Babalinese knife handle yet. Heh, you see, my subordinate worked hard in investigating everything. So there was nothing else to find, alright?
Wow, Agent Lane's really sticks up for his people. Lane Z says all men are brothers, all friends become family. She's using an assumed identity. Oh, apparently Interpol just didn't care, or Callisto U is that good. So you see, my people are my family, and their families are my family too.
That's a rather large family you have there.
Yes, but we all know there's always one black sheep in any family. And though it pains me, Agent Lane, you will know the black sheep in your family.
So, do you actually have any proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace passageway?
No, I haven't found any yet.
Then what are we gonna do?
There's no need to worry. Because there is a loophole in Mr. Interpol agent's argument we can exploit first. The one in charge of the Balinese investigation was not Agent Lang, which means that Agent Sheena was in charge. It's possible she may have tampered with the evidence. That piece of evidence that we found. If there is one thing I do know, it is that someone tried to hide it from us. Okay, what are we... Okay, let me just go to the present table here. Were we hiding the knife, the money? The money was burnt. And the wire. The wire was also hid. So, as far as which one they mean me to talk about... Okay, I guess one of those is the thing I need to do, right? Because they're talking about the thing she hid, so... Okay, I don't have proof of that. We found not a single suspicious thing in the office. So we did find the wire, so I guess that would be the thing here. So let's present the wire. Because we didn't find the bills. The bills are gone. Well, you say that. You and your agents have finished your thorough investigation. Are you absolutely certain that you didn't overlook anything?
Well, aren't we full of ourselves standing there insulting Interpol agents? You'd better not be insinuating that my men are incompetent, Mr. Prosecutor. I'd never do that. However, it doesn't change the fact that they did overlook something. I'd like for you to take a look at this length of wire. What exactly is that supposed to mean? A length of wire? So what's that about? What's that about? I'll tell you what. We found this in the Babali's embassy not long ago. What? And we found it wound up inside the grandfather clock in Mr. Cochin's office. You found that at the scene of Mr. Cochin's murder. But this wire wasn't all we found. We found one other very important thing. There's more. In Mr. Cochin's office, there were signs that someone had burned counterfeit bills there. Oh, I guess they were going to do both. Okay. It's one of those things. That's in the...
Hold it.
That evidence, it was something you found out through that girl's machine, right?
So what if it was?
That's what I thought. But unfortunately for you, a recreation made by a machine is hardly concrete proof. Among the ashes you found in the room, did you happen to find any counterfeit bills? No. You see, so there's nothing in that office, nothing you can call evidence anyway. I'm sorry, but I seem to have given you the wrong impression. How so? How so? I don't recall saying I was presenting evidence of any sort, but rather I was pointing out that your investigation was incomplete, and that this throws doubt on the purity of your investigation into the Yatagarasu. You still suspect me, I see. Alright then, I'll ask you to point out what part of my investigation is incomplete. Oh. The other Interpol agents worked under the command of Agent Sheena, and it is not possible that the reason the person K was chasing through the third door was because that person knew there would be no other agents on that floor. Furthermore, we've come to see that Agent Sheena was only pretending to be investigating the Yatagarasu to the point of arresting K. In that case, there is one location that no one yet has to inspect. Your team's investigation was incomplete because they failed to inspect this location. I assume it's this room.
Take that!
The location the Agent Sheena was in, of course, the room you claim to have examined. I believe the room next to Mr. Cochin's office warrants a thorough investigation. Even if you do that, I doubt you find anything of use to you in there. I will be the one to decide that. Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir, I'm on it. I'll be right back after I check out that room next to the office.
Just Francisca in the background, just like holding her whip the whole time.
Mr. Edgeworth? Do you really think that Miss Sheena is the Yatagarasu? Yes, if my logic is sound, I believe she is. Then I'm not going to let her get away with ruining the name of Yatagarasu. But can you prove that she's the Yatagarasu in question? The Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he will. Then we should be able to. And just what are you hoping he'll find? Let's just say that I had Detective Gumshoe do a little experiment for me earlier. An experiment, as if the detective has brains for such high science. It wasn't mentally taxing. I had him use the same escape route as the Yatagarasu. And what did you find by doing that? First, that it's possible for the person to fit through the revolving door. Second, that by going there, his coat was covered in ash and in Babali's ink. Who cares what his coat was covered in? It's not worth that much anyway. But is it really worth so little? I believe that it is quite a meaningful result, the value of which I'm about to prove.
Mr. Edgeworth, I found something you really need to see, sir.
What did he find? Oh. And what are these things that you found?
Some makeup, a coat, and a pair of shoes, sir.
You found a coat? You hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? Maybe it's the one the person I was chasing was wearing.
Yes, the possibility does exist. Agent Sheena, were these pieces of evidence not in the room that you were examined when you examined it? Unfortunately for you, those aren't suspicious. Hey, those aren't suspicious items of any sort. They all belong to me. They were getting in the way, so I stole them in that room.
Oh,
Thank you for bringing them to me. Saves me the trip. May I have them back now?
Hold it.
These items that the detective brought are incredibly significant. I request that we be allowed to examine them. They're my personal belongings, so you have no right to touch them without my permission. Hello, Francisca von Karma. We are currently in a case that you are helping us with. I wish to examine them for the sake of the investigation. But if you wish to deny us access to them, Agent Lang, let's hear your opinion on this. I say let him look at your stuff, Sheena. Lang. Sheena, let's put it all out in the open. If you're really innocent, then you have nothing to worry about, right? I guess so. Alright, go ahead and examine whatever you like. After all, I have nothing to hide. Good. Now, let us begin. So which of Agent Sheena's belongings are you gonna examine, sir? The coat. Let's examine the coat.
yes, sir.
Oh gee, look at the bottom of this coat. What is on it? It appears that you managed to stain your coat rather badly. Agent Sheena. The Atagarasu that Kay saw was wearing a coat. And I'm beginning to wonder if the stain wasn't created when you went through the fireplace. No, you have it all wrong. That soot probably got on my coat when I was helping the police put out the fire. And what is this dark substance around the hem of your coat? Oh, I didn't realize that hem was dirty. I'm sure it was just some water mixed with soot from when I was helping with the fire.
I don't think so. You think you can get away with such a transparent lie?
Yeah. Don't lie to us, pal. This is the same pattern of the dirt that got on my coat when I went through the fireplace.
It was a ringing hollow in the absence of evidence, you know. So unless you can prove that the dirt on my coat is from the fireplace, which I can. What? How? You did a great job, Detective Gumshoe.
Huh? Me, sir? What did I do?
This coat is exactly the piece of evidence I was searching for. I had been hoping to find the coat that the person Kay saw was wearing. And thanks to you, we proved that going through the fireplace was solely a coat.
I don't quite get what you're saying, but I'm happy to be for the praise, sir.
All that remains is for us to show what the dark substance on the coat hem is. Oh, you think you can do that? Of course I can. This is the dark substance that's solely the hem of the coat. It was the ink. Do. The Balinese ink. Yes, this is what proves that the coat went through the fireplace. According to the Ambassador Polano, he burned some files in the fireplace this morning. You told us about that already, so I don't see what's the point of mentioning it again. My point is he spilled some ink on the back wall of the fireplace at the time. If the dark substance of this coat turns out to be Balinese ink, it would prove that you and this coat went through the revolving fireplace. Ack! Sorry, I have to clip one of your wings, Yatagarasu, but we're not finished yet. But you have no way of proving whether this is Balinese ink on this coat hem. Oh, but I do, and I intend to show that this is the ink in a few seconds. How? How, you ask? Well, since you don't seem to know, allow me to show you. This is how I will prove that the dark substance in the coat is Bobolini's ink. We're gonna burn the coat! You can find out whether the Bobolini's ink or not by lighting it on fire. Edgeworth, you can't just light evidence on fire. That's how you're gonna prove a Bobolini's ink? Yes. You'd be so... if you could please cut out a section of the dark-stained area for me, I'd appreciate it. Because I will show you here and now what the dark substance is. Sheena, sorry to do this, but I'm gonna have to cut off a bit of your coat. Go ahead, I wasn't planning to wear it anymore. Burn the witch, coat. Yes, we can. Now then, if someone could loan me a lighter or something. Oh, I got some matches. I always carry them with me so I can light smoke bombs. Then, if I could please have one, Kay, we can get this experiment underway. Burn the coat. Alright. The flame. Same color as the flames of white crystal oil it produces, which means Bobolini's ink is produced with white crystal oil. And when lit, the ink produces a green flame. I believe the time has come to clip the Yatagarasu's other wing. Miss Sheena, you're a fake Yatagarasu, the one who killed my father. It's about time you came clean, Agent Sheena. Or should I say, Callisto you. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, you're not serious, are you? Do I look like I'm the joking type? Callisto you. I've never heard that name before in my life. The manner of speaking and that attitude, you haven't changed a bit in 7 years. You're the defense attorney that killed Mr. Faraday, and then you tried to frame me for it. Oh, really? And you have proof? You insist that I'm this Callisto you woman. Well, you can't prove it. If you have no proof, then I'm afraid you won't be able to lay a single finger on me. The raven is a very unique bird, one that flies in the darkest night. However, the light of dawn has arrived, and it will reveal your true ugly form to the world. Enough poetry. I want to see some evidence. Do you really have something you can prove that she is Callisto you? I do. It's something from the second Yatagarasu has preserved for us for these last 7 years.
Do me the honor, Mr. Edgeworth.
I will, Kay. For we have come to an end. We'll prove her to be Callisto you with this and clip this Yatagarasu's wings for good.
Take that!
This perfume. This will prove you to be Callisto you. It will. Kay has preserved it perfectly for us. Surely you remember this bottle. It belongs to Miss Yu just before she disappeared 7 years ago. Naturally, this means that a few of her fingerprints are on here as well.
This is that bottle of perfume you spilled, which I have preserved ever since. I heard from my father, Burn Faraday, that if stored under the right conditions, a fingerprint can be preserved for decades. Which means that your fingerprints are still on here, every last one.
We can clear everything up if we were to compare the prints on this to your own. Now come, Agent Sheena. Will you submit yourself to a fingerprint test? Oh, Jesus Christ, that face. That is like anime, unhinged boy face. It looks like you've seen right through me yet again. You're sending the biggest chills down my spine, Edgeworth. Callisto you. So you've shown your true face at last. This feels like a thrill. It's even greater than the last time 7 years ago. Sheena, you're... Lang, I really enjoyed our days together.
You're an insanely strong, nice, kind-hearted idiot of a man. So you were a spy all along. A mole sent by the smuggling ring I've been chasing after. Someone who has been feeding them intel on Interpol all this time. Very good. Maybe you're not as big of an idiot as I thought.
Callisto, you, the woman who killed my father 7 years ago. You're her, aren't you? The fake Yaktarasu.
That's right, Callisto, you. That's just one of my many names. But even that is just a facade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great thief Yatakarasu. Callisto, you, this time you won't escape, for this is the end of the road for you. Now come along quietly. You know, you're one of those. You're the one who left the strongest impression on me, Kay Faraday. And had you not used the Yatakarasu's gadgets, I might have never known who you were. But here you are, being a thorn in my side, just like your father always was. Kay, don't.
You, I'll never forgive you for what you did to my father.
You really are just like him. Mr. Faraday, do you possess such laughable honesty? Oh. Kay!
You let Kay go right now, pal.
You're despicable.
Let go of me, you filthy. Huh.
You think I'm a fake, don't you? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm the real Yatakarasu.
But that's impossible. My father was the one who created Little Thief.
Hey, Edgeworth. The Yatakarasu has 3 legs. Don't you know why that is? Why it has 3 legs? There are 3 main reasons why the Yatakarasu will always be 1 step ahead. First, the Yatakarasu always knows exact location of the target. Second, the Yatakarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. No, it can't be. Did you figure it out? Did you finally know the real identity of the Yatakarasu? The real identity of the Yatakarasu is... Bird Faraday, Callisto, you, neither person. The real identity of the Yatakarasu is neither Burn Faraday nor Callisto you. But, by the same token, they are also both the real Yatakarasu. How very perceptive of you.
No way!
A single person known as the Great Thief Yatakarasu never existed.
Mr. Edgeworth, I refuse to believe this.
The Yatakarasu is known to have 3 special skills. Skill number 1. The Yatakarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. And a lawyer would have opportunity to learn the layout of a client's corporation. Skill number 2. The Yatakarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. And a good prosecutor would be well versed in the ways of a criminal. And skill number 3... Oh, actually, it's probably this. And skill number 3, the Yatakarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. Detective Bad! It was only natural for the Yatakarasu to never leave evidence behind, because the lead detective on the case hid it all away. You're the 3rd member of the Yatakarasu. Look, gasp! You. I've been looking for you for a long time. 7 long years. But I finally got you. Why, Mr. Bad? Long time no see. What happened to us? We used to be such a great team.
If you're such a great team, then why did you kill my father 7 years ago?
Bad, nothing personal. Detective Bad is a bad detective who does crimes. Why, indeed. It was nothing personnel, really. Timing.
It was nothing personal, really. It was just another person I had to kill.
How can you say that?
I grow weary of this, and it's about time for everything to come to an end. And this time I won't miss.
Stop! You!
Okay. It's over, Sheena.
Your leg!
Lang! Look who's a badass.
Agent Lang. You idiot. What were you thinking jumping in front of my gun like that? What are you risking your life for?
I'm sorry, Detective Bad, but no matter what sort of past she may have had, or even if she's a spy, doesn't change the fact that she is my subordinate. And as long as she is, I can't allow any harm to come to her, not even from you. You really are an idiot, you know that? You really are an idiot, you know that? Heh, it's fine with me. You should know by now that this is just how I am. Hey, sis. Yes. I want you to conduct a full body search. Sheena might have another weapon on her. Alright. Detective Gumshoe, your assistance, please.
Sir!
Hey, I found something. What is this, sir? It looks like a blade of a knife, but it doesn't have a handle.
This is a great find, Detective.
Huh? It is, sir?
Let's try pairing it with this blade, with this handle.
Take that!
I believe this blade actually belongs to the handle that was on the murder weapon.
Hey, it fits together perfectly.
This blade must have been taken from the crime scene when the knife and handles were switched.
I'm gonna go return this Balinese knife now. Alright.
I trust that you will make sure that it is returned to Ambassador Plano. His knife handle given to Detective. Just to get it out of my inventory. I believe this makes it perfectly clear who did this. Callisto Yu. For the only time the handles could have been switched was after Mr. Cochin's murder. Which means that you must have been Mr. Cochin's killer. You killed Mr. Cochin with the Albestian knife. Switched the handles and then took the original blade of the Balinese knife with you. Later, you allowed yourself to be spotted by Kay near the open-air stage. You used the fireplace to lose her, and then you went back to accuse her of murder. Does that about sum it up? You craft an engaging tale, Edgeworth, but there are two problems with it. Problems? In what respect? What do you really think? What do you think my real reasons was for allowing her to chase after me? It was also I could capture Kay Faraday.
What?
When I saw you using that device at Gator Waterland, I knew right away that you were Byrne Faraday's daughter. I became curious, so I researched a little into your background. That's how I found out that you were on the trail of the Atagarasu.
So that's why you tried to pin Mr. Cochin's murder on me?
Yes, I knew you would show up at this embassy tonight. So I thought to use you. Pinning the murder on you wasn't my only goal.
You had another?
Yes. Once I had you under arrest, I'd planned on search you. I'd take back the device that rightfully belongs to me, the true Yatagarasu.
You were going to take little thief away from me?
7 years ago, I was all thanks to the device that Faraday was able to infiltrate this place. But he stole more than he should have. I had a tough time recovering that precious key. Then the person who stole the Yatagarasu key was Mr. Faraday. That incident 7 years ago. What was the catalyst behind it? In my eyes, the smuggling ring, the Yatagarasu, was becoming a bit of a problem. It wasn't an especially pleasant assignment. Then why? Why did you become a member of the Yatagarasu? Why? There's no why. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. From the beginning? What is that supposed to mean? The person I take orders from hasn't changed, even now, to this day.
Does this mean that the leader of the smuggling ring wasn't Mr. Cochin? And the real ring leader is still pulling the strings. Oh no! You done asking what you need to know? Because if so, then we should probably get going. And you're gonna tell me everything you did tonight. Do you understand, Sheena? I guess I should tell you, then, that I was the one who set the Babalinese embassy on fire. And why did you do that? I was supposed to destroy all the evidence of the counterfeit bills. Looks at the case saying middle. Yeah, really. That was the smuggling ring was trying to do? But then, why start 2 fires? Sorry, but I can't tell you anything about the ring. It's your job to complete your investigation, after all. I've had my fun. Now it's your turn to enjoy the ride.
Wait, I mean, Miss Sheena.
Yes.
When I fell on the floor earlier, these fell at my feet.
What about them?
They're such a pretty hair sticks, and I thought, well, that I should return them to you.
You can have them. They're of no use to me anymore. If you don't want them, you can always just throw them away.
No, I want to keep them.
Suit yourself. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot Edgeworth. About the second problem I had with your story. I didn't kill anyone tonight. What? I'm not saying that as a sore loser. Think of it as a hint, if you will. Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, Agent Legg. Mark my words, I'm not done here, and I'll be back. And it's got nothing to do with duty or anything, because this has become my personal case. I may have been shot, but I'll show you just how dangerous a wounded wolf can be. His anger appears to be negated by the sensation of pain in his injured leg. Oh boy, okay. It's finally over, Kay.
I feel like I peered into her heart a little, you know? It's so cold and dark. Incredibly lonely. The person who was giving her all these commands? The one who thought my father was a problem to be removed?
That person is the real ringleader behind the smuggling ring.
Mr. Edgeworth, I have a favor to ask. Can you hold on to these hair sticks for me? They're really pretty, just like the ones that we're selling at the Jamming Ninja show. But until this case is over, I don't think I can look at them without being overcome.
I understand. I'll take good care of them for you. There's a bit of soil stuck on the end of these sticks. Gee, I wonder where they were.
I guess it's time already, huh?
So, it's midnight, the dawn of another day.
Hey, Pops, thanks for a bunch. You've really done a lot for everyone all these years.
Detective Bad, don't tell me today is the day. Yeah, it is. With this, I can retire in peace. It was down to the wire. We almost didn't make it. But we did it. We solved everything. But that's just it. We haven't solved everything yet. The ringleader of the smuggling ring, you, the Yatagarasu, were chasing after. The legend of that the Yatagarasu is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you.
Is it really true, Uncle Bad? You were also part of the Yatagarasu?
As I said to you earlier, okay? I'm truly sorry. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you.
Uncle Bad?
Hey, don't take it so seriously. It was all just one big joke, right?
Unfortunately, it isn't, holy man.
Oh, come on, sir. She's just yanking my chain. Isn't she, Mr. Edgeworth?
Detective Bad. Wait. No, you are no longer a detective. Mr. Bad, I'd like to ask you about the Yatagarasu.
No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, here. I should give these back to you. These are the pages from the KG-8 incident.
These are the KG case files that the Yatagarasu stole from my office.
Wait, what?
It was him. Mr. Edgeworth, I must apologize for last night. Oh, right, the timey-wiminess. So, the Yatagarasu who stole into my room was you, was it?
Wait, that means what? Tell me it's not true. That's too insane for me to believe, sir.
It's true, even if it's not something you want to hear. The KG8 incident, it was a very emotionally trying case. We stood in the courtroom, Faraday as the prosecutor, and I as the lead detective. Faraday had the evidence in his possession that would prove the defendant was guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. You was the elder sister of the victim in the case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. That's when we realized that there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside the courts. That's what we thought at the time. That's how we formed the Yatagarasu and vowed to bring to light any dirty dealings the companies had with the ring, including companies that dealt with a mono group. Mr. Mono's conglomerate. We called ourselves the Yatagarasu and flexed our collective muscle. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings and warning to the business world as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then, it was finally time. We'd finally arrived at the moment when we'd find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart. And Faraday, he died for it.
But why? Wasn't she the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident?
After Faraday's death, it looked into her past. And that's when I found out that she was a phony. The victim of the KG8 incident, CCU, she never had a sister. Ah. What? Then that means Sheena wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto Yu was also another pseudonym. From the very beginning, the woman was a spy sent by the smuggling ring. She said herself, I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. Anyway, let's return to the real topic at hand. Mr. Edgeworth, this trump card that we stuck onto this page of the file case, please use it wisely. Trump card? That photo that we stuck on there, try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all those years ago. It's the mark of the Yatagarasu, but why? This is the directive card from the big boss. Take a look at the back. This was something Kochin had on him at the time of the KG8 incident 10 years ago. Oh yeah, I can totally read what that says. That blood is from the victim of the incident, Miss CCU. But why is the card adorned in the mark of the Yatagarasu? The reason why we called ourselves the Yatagarasu was because of the three-legged raven mark of the smuggling ring's boss used. Apparently orders from the boss would come on these cards without fail. The person who received the order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it. And apparently it burns a bright green flame when set ablaze. Dun dun dun. So you mean the cards were written in Bolognese ink? The fact that the card that Kochin was sent was made into Faraday's hands at all is nothing short of a miracle. We decided that whenever we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police. So that's what those white cards are. The great Yatagarasu, the great thief, used the mark that only those with the ring would know. That was our message to the ringleader, that we were the only fewest steps behind.
Trump card added. And one more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you, my lollipop. No.
What is it, sir?
This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG8 incident trial, Faraday had this with his possession. This important definitive piece of evidence. But I thought it was stolen. How do you have it? The person who stole it from us. 10 years ago. Was a man by the name of Ernest Amano. And he had it locked in his hidden away for all this time. But we were forced him to tell us where it was finally, after the other day's kidnapping case. Oh. That video. What? Don't come any closer, I'm warning you. This is the video of the one Mr. Portsman was trying to conceal from me. It all connects, guys. Yeah, it would seem that he was even caught up in the ring's web. Amano was preparing to take on the boss someday, and the video was his insurance. That's where the prosecutors come in. He was to retrieve the video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. You saw it for yourself, right? The card that told him to preserve the evidence. Then that card was not the calling card of the Yatagarasu, but rather a directive card from the ringleader of to Mr. Portsman. The two pieces together make for a strong weapon for whoever holds them. The evidence Mr. Portsman thought to withhold from me, and the one that you stole from my office last night. Both pieces are illegal, and for me to use either one is... Whether you use them or not is up to you. But they will be of help to you when you take on someone who is above the law. The law! Hint, hint. Is the boss one of those who cannot be brought to the court that Mr. Faraday spoke of? It's kind of interesting that Edgeworth's game is one where he has to bring people to justice outside of the law. It feels very counter to him. Detective Bad. There is no limit to the law, for it is the people who determine the limits to them. You still insist that even now? You really are something else. I leave the rest in your hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, the handcuffs. It is time to lock up the last remaining member of the Yatagarasu.
Pops!
Don't even ever lose your detective spirit.
Pops, why is this happening? This isn't justice.
Like I always told you, don't get emotionally involved. Now, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Aw. Come on. Give me that to be continued. Is this really the end of the legend? There we go. Jesus. Okay, I went a little later than I intended to, but we did it. We got to the end of the middle. Okay. I need to get ready for bed as I work tomorrow. So, good night, friends. Thanks for joining me. We made good progress. We'll see how far we can get next time. I don't know if it's going to be all the way to the end of the case, but we'll get as far as we can. So, later all.